Well, better than 17,000 on hand at Arco Arena in Sacramento. The Kings playing their 10th season here in the city of Sacramento. They have sold out every game at Arco Arena since moving to the capital city back in 1985. And we're set for the introduction of the starting lineups.
From Oklahoma State, number 3, John Starks. From St. Louis, number 4, Anthony Bonner. From Ohio State, number 32, Herb Williams. And from Nevada, Las Vegas, number 50, Greg Anthony. Now let's meet tonight's starters for the Knicks. At forward, 6'7", from Tennessee State, number 14, Anthony Mason. At forward, 6'10", from Pittsburgh, number 54, Charles Smith. At center, 7 feet, from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. At guard, 6'4", from Illinois, number 11, Derek Harper. And at guard, 6'5", from North Carolina, number 44, Hubert Davis. The head coach of the Knicks is Pat Riley. His assistants are Jeff Van Gundy and Jeff Nix. The trainer, Mike Saunders. Now, ladies and gentlemen, prepare for darkness as we spotlight your Sacramento Kings. Now, first, let's meet tonight's target. Fantasy Sweepstakes honorary ball kid, Alex Henthorn from Vacaville. And now tonight's starting lineup at forward. 7 feet from Virginia, 0, Olden Colony. And forward, 6'8", from Maryland, number 42, Walt Williams. At center, 7 feet, from Temple, number 31, Dwayne Caldwell. At guard, 5'7", from North Carolina State, number 4, Spud Ware. And at guard, 6'5", from Kansas State, number 2, Rich Richmond. The head coach of the Kings is Gary St. Jean. His assistants are Mike Brown, Wayne Cooper, and Andy Jordan. The trainer is Bill Jones, and his assistant is Pete Youngman. Tonight's injury report for the Knicks, Charles Oakley after showing the training, he will not rest this evening. Charlie Ward had the wrist injury. Doug Christie recovering from ankle surgery. They are on the
Well, John, I myself was prepared for darkness. That's the most unique introduction that we have heard all season. Well, Patrick Ewing has had much success over the years against the Sacramento Kings, who have certainly had problems at the center position. For example, last year in the 2 games, he averaged 29.5 points per game against the Kings. We talked about Ewing and what the Kings plan to do against him with Sacramento coach Gary St. Jean.
Well, I'm hoping that he's going to hit heavy wind down at our end with the air conditioning when he starts taking his jump shots. I have a wealth of respect for Patrick. He's a great player. He's a winner. You don't play him with one person. You've got to play him by team. And we've played good team defense. Our rotations have been good. We'll be strongly tested tonight because the Knicks are a tremendously well-coached team that plays hard, and we've got a lot of respect for them.
Well, they are now making the announcement, although Hubert Davis was announced as the starter. As we mentioned during our opening, Pat Riley has gone back to John Starks. Unless there has been some miscommunication, it is John Starks in the starting lineup after all.
Well,
would you clear this up, please?
We can only hope that John Starks did not watch the open to the game that we were presenting, because that might further distract him from putting the ball in the basket. Chances are he didn't, Marv, so we'll proceed ahead.
The officials tonight are Joe Crawford, Bill Spooner, and Gary Benson.
We have a dimly lit gym here. And I think Joey Crawford, the official, is going to wait till the lights get a little stronger.
And there's Charles Oakley, who, as we mentioned, is sitting it out because he's bothered by the dislocated toe. The Knicks controlling the opening tip. First of the 3-game Western swing. Games coming up in Phoenix and Portland. Anthony Mason starting for Oakley, going at Walt Williams. So the Knicks with a 2-0 lead. Sacramento Kings with a record of 11-8. Their best record through 19 games. And Ewing comes up with a block of Mitch Richmond, and it will be Sacramento ball.
John Starks with a thank you slap on Ewing's hands, because that was give and go. Starks concentrating. All of a sudden his man got right in front of him. Looks like an easy 2 until Patrick comes along.
For the Sacramento Kings, their best start since the 82-83 season, when the Kansas City Kings opened up at 11-7. And the Knicks off to the fast start. Charles Smith makes it a 4-0 Knick lead. John, that 82-83 Kings team featured the likes of Eddie Johnson, Mike Woodson, a former Knick, Larry Drew.
Isolation right away with Richmond going at Starks.
And Richmond able to do it off the spin.
Boy, there's no subtleness to the Gary St. Jean plan, I guess, with exploitation of the area where the Knicks have been soft.
Derek Harper put the move on Spud Webb. Starks unleashing at the start, tried the 3. John Starks the other night 0 for 6 from downtown. Here's Richmond. John Starks coming off a very long night against the Miami Heat. 1 for 9, fouled out. Uncertain as to whether to take shots at the start of the game. Ewing was fouled. Foul on Dwayne Caldwell, and it's a very difficult situation for John Starks. Does not want to force anything, yet would like to see himself shoot his way out of it.
Well, doesn't want to force Marvin, yet he's got to shoot. There was a notation the other day after the game against Miami that John Starks had the ball 30 times and took 6 shots. That's a percentage that seems to be indicative of John hesitating. He's got to be loose. He's got to go for the shots. As we saw the other day, he did take Game 7 home, the videotape, and viewed it for the first time. The horrible, nightmarish performance, and he faced it. So we'll see if that had any effect on loosening him up.
Ewing on the follow. Yes. The Knicks with a 7-2 lead.
In fact, in asking Pat Riley about that before the game, he said that no, it was not his suggestion. It was all John to do that. Take a look at the game.
Harper called for the foul. You don't think John was just checking out the play-by-play tandem of myself and Matt Gukas just to see the network approach, perhaps, or the other network approach, I should say?
I would not want to quiz him, Marv, for fear of embarrassing you.
Richmond backing his way, goes to the spin. Mitch Richmond once again going right at John Starks.
This has to force Pat Riley into a move that I think he doesn't want to make this early in the game, and that is to put a bigger, stronger person like Bonner or Mason on Richmond.
The Knicks 7 and the Kings 4. Ewing stop. Mason stop. Caldwell with 2 blocks. Dwayne Caldwell in his 5th year out of Temple is noted for his shot blocking. Not much offensively. That is his game. The quick release. John Starks hitting the corner jump to give the Knicks a 9-4 lead.
Of course, with Mason now, with Oakley out, Mason up front, Pat Riley may have to hesitate a bit if this continues with Richmond on fire.
Walt Williams has played well, popping it back out. Richmond for 3. And Ewing unleashes, fires too far for Starks.
We haven't seen Patrick throw that pass, and the Knicks looking to get out that quickly. So it would seem that their scouting report reveals that they can do this to the Kings.
Well, the Knicks also would like to find some easy baskets for John Starks. And again, Richmond posting up. Shot waved off, but a foul is called on Starks. So that is his first foul, non-shooting foul.
John is petitioning the official, indicating he's taking the beating.
Mitch Richmond comes in, averaging 24 points a game. That is 7th in the NBA. The second leading scoring guard, right behind Jim Jackson of Dallas, and he does it again.
This can't continue. There's got to be some kind of adjustment here.
Richmond with all 6 Sacramento points. Caldwell with the rebound. Here's Walt Williams. It counts. It's a goal kick. Walt Williams, in his 3rd year out of Maryland, has returned to his rookie season form when he averaged 17 a game.
Very versatile offensive player, tougher than ever.
Knicks lead by 1. Charles Smith putting the move on Olden Polynice and then gave it up. 3-second violation. And the ball goes back to Sacramento.
This certainly has the feel of a college arena. Fans are very close to the floor, and they're very responsive to their home team. Anything that happens well for the Kings is responded to vigorously. And that, to me, Marv, suggests that the Knicks have got to stay out in front or close to them all game long, or else they'll get the feeling that the sky is falling in on them.
Caldwell with a rare offensive move, and it will be Nick Ball. Last season, the Knicks took both meetings against the Kings. The Knicks winning here March the 1st at the start of the 15-game Knicks win streak. Knicks have won 4 straight against Sacramento, 9 of the last 10.
There's no mystery to the Knicks attack. They've got to go to Ewing big time tonight with Caldwell on him.
Anthony Mason. And the Knicks lead by 3. A starting opportunity for Mason. His first start of the season with Charles Oakley sidelined by the injured toe. Webb on the penetration, but then gives it up. Polynice. Olden Polynice. Olden Polynice playing well. Comes off an 8 for 10 shooting performance against Golden State. Sacramento beating the slumping Warriors twice within the last 4 days. Charles Smith getting inside. And the Knicks lead by 3.
Those are the kind of moves you never saw Charles make prior to this season. He's so confident now. He continues to take the ball to the basket.
Spud Webb, Mitch Richmond. And the backcourt, Dwayne Caldwell, Olden Polynice, and Walt Williams on the front line.
Boy, it's an isolation attack every time, it seems, by the Kings. They're isolating their scorers, clearing out the side, letting them work one-on-one against the Knicks defenders.
Foul committed by Charles Smith. We'll be right back.
To get noticed, show up in leather. To get leather, show up here. Wilson's, the leather experts. All coats shown on sale, $149.99.
See it for less. Ski Stop, America's winter warehouse, has everything you need to take on the winter of '95. More of the gear you want to hit the slopes. Everything from underwear to outerwear. And a notorious array of boards at The Attic, the country's largest snowboard department. See it for less. The world's best brands at the guaranteed lowest prices.
Nobody beats Ski Stop's price. Nobody beats Ski Stop's service. Nobody beats Ski Stop's quality.
See it for less. Guaranteed.
Thousands of shoppers every year come back to the Carrot Shop. They love our quality, love our selection, and are thrilled with saving 50% or more.
There's no middleman. There's savings right there.
And they have the best selection in town.
I would love to find a diamond engagement ring under my tree. Diamond earrings for his mother and my mother. A ring for my husband.
Big, big diamond heart.
Necklace, bracelet, pendant.
Ooh, the Carrot Shop's got it. Diamonds and gold.
You're looking at one of Long Island's most recognizable landmarks. A landmark that personifies excellence. One that's looked up to not only by our loyal customers, but by our competition. The Landmark. Raleigh Motors, the metropolitan area's premier luxury car dealership on Northern Boulevard in Rosslyn. Authorized Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Rolls-Royce dealer. Raleigh Motors, where it costs no more to go first class.
Well, earlier today, as many of you are aware, the Knicks made the move that some had speculated, but I think it was somewhat of a surprise that it happened today. Doc Rivers placed on waivers. Doc saying, I enjoyed my short time with the Knicks and the fans of New York. I had a good relationship with them. I'll miss them. The only disappointment I have is that we'll not be able to help bring the city a world championship. After Doc clears waivers, the feeling is he will be signed because reportedly there are several teams interested in his services. What's your reaction to it as you see Polynice hit again, and the Knicks lead is now 1?
Well, Marv, I think, first of all, that Doc Rivers had the chance, as we mentioned earlier, to prove he can play once again. I'm happy for him, and I'm sure Pat Riley is, and perhaps that's why he gave him the run the other night, anticipating this move. Although Doc is in Sacramento, we must point out, too, so it is a surprise from that standpoint. But Pat's committed to thinning out the backcourt situation, and I think the franchise, the Knicks, are thinking long-term, and that Doc doesn't fit into the long-term plan. He's already got a 33-year-old guard in the backcourt, as we know, the same exact age as Doc Rivers and Derek Harper. And Harper is playing so well that I think they feel there's only room for one 33-year-old guard.
And I think that there was the fear that Doc would not be able to make it all the way back from the operation. Nice tip by Starks. And it's a 15-12 Knick lead. We're told that Doc is headed back home via a red-eye tonight. I know that we'll miss having him around, such a good guy, and certainly played well in his short stay here with the New York Knicks. But Richmond not able to hit this time, and Starks rebounds. But I certainly look for Doc to resurface and help another team in the NBA, and apparently the Knicks were showcasing him. Perhaps one of the reasons, although that has not been fully explained, as to why Greg Anthony was benched the last couple of games.
That last attempt to get the ball into Charles Smith on that Aaron's pass, which is duplicated now by the Kings. Back-to-back turnovers.
And the ball goes back to the Knicks. The Knicks 15 and the Kings 12 with 4:40 remaining in this opening quarter.
Kind of wonder if Derek Harper will do a little posting up himself on the much shorter Spud Webb.
Ewing with the jump hook. Polynice gets to it. Walt Williams with a pretty baseline move. Using the screen, and it brings Sacramento within 1.
One-on-one offense, it seems 4 out of 5 times for the Kings.
Mason rebounded by Richmond. Here's Webb. Spud gets it back out. But Williams could not get to it.
You have to have the kind of players that can put the ball on the floor and create their own moves, as the Kings have in Mitch Richmond and Walt Williams. Even Polynice, to some degree, can put the ball on the floor. So they're going for this.
Anthony Bonner getting set to come on. Starks with the open shot. Yes. Well, John Starks showing some signs. He's 3 for 4 from the field. He has 7 points.
Well, despite the early indication of what should happen, Pat Riley sticking with John on Richmond, and John is crawling into his own offensive rhythm now.
Having a difficult time with Mitch Richmond. Very physical matchup. Richmond, that time Starks did a terrific job in denying the good shot. And it's a traveling violation. Now the Knicks take a timeout. Just under 3 minutes left, first quarter.
At this time, table 7 and 8. And remember, 7, you're playing.
Everybody wants something different in a car, but what we all want is to get the most quality for the least amount of money. Right now, you can make your money count on this new Geo Prism. It has dual airbags, and with GMAC Smart Lease, you can drive a Prism today with no down payment for only $199 a month. Now, who says you can't always get what you want? See your Chevrolet Geo dealer today and make your money count. Event ends January 3rd.
Knicks shooting the ball well here in the first quarter. 2:56 left. Interesting matchup now with John Starks and Richmond continuing. Richmond opened up strong. Starks has responded in a one-on-one matchup on the last move of Richmond. Starks was right with him with some fine help from Charles Smith. John right now 3 out of 4 from the field, hanging with Richmond, and Pat Riley is hanging with Starks.
2 of those shots were jump shots, the other from in close on a tip. Now Bonner on a switch guarding Richmond. Starks knocked it away from Williams. 10 on the 24. Good defense by the Knicks. Starks again knocked it away. Caldwell came up short. I tell you, John, that one of the superb defensive sequences of the season by the Knicks. And that's the kind of play that Pat Riley is hoping to get from John Starks, going back to doing the things that got him into the league.
Oh, he just got rocked by Caldwell as he cut across the middle. Caldwell mystified by the call, but John Starks was sucked.
And here's the rookie from Xavier of Ohio, who's played so well, Brian Grant, replacing Wayne Caldwell. Brian Grant, first-round draft pick, the 8th selection overall. Ewing being played by Grant. Yes. Grant goes only 6'9". He's about 255 pounds.
This is the weakness of the Kings after Caldwell, who in the real world should be a backup center in a real NBA tough world, but he's a starting center. But after him, they just don't have an answer.
Well, Frank Burkowski on the injured list with a bruised right shoulder. Starks called for the foul. That's his second, 4th team foul. Burkowski reportedly will be out 2 to 3 more weeks. Lionel Simmons added to the roster today. He's back off the injured list. Has not played at all this season. Grant throws back outside. Polynice to Webb. Ewing stepping out on a switch, and Grant has the open shot. Brian Grant, guy made a big jump with a strong showing in the pre-draft camps, jumping all the way to the 8th pick overall in the draft. He was not projected that way earlier. And Patrick Ewing is having his way. The Knicks now lead by 6.
Beautiful setup also by Derek Harper. It's rare that a player who's going to be drafted 8th, although he was obviously projected much higher, would even go to a pre-draft workout, risk injury, risk not showing up and playing well, and risk losing a lot of money. Grant earned it, and he's collecting the pleasure right now.
Another isolation move. Grant going up against Mason. Harper thought he'd go to the middle, then gave it up. Oh, Webb stripped Ewing. Polynice going all the way and was called for a charge. He was out of control, and a good play by Anthony Bonner.
Polynice is such a physical player. He saw Bonner in front of him, and he just totally chose to ignore him. Nice play by Spud Webb getting that ball from Ewing. Polynice will come down. Got Bonner right in front of him. Who cares? Offensive foul.
Hubert Davis has come on, replacing John Starks. So Starks sits down with 7 points, hitting 3 of 4 from the field. Bonner with Ewing and Mason up front. Crowd looking for a turnover. They thought Bonner stepped out of bounds, and now it will be Sacramento in possession with 20 seconds remaining in this first quarter. The Knicks leading 22-16.
A lot of focus now on the Knicks defense in this game, and so far in the first quarter it has been an excellent quarter defensively for the Knicks.
And Gary Benson with the immediate call of the hand check on Davis. So that will put Richmond at the line. The Knicks are over the limit.
With the new NBA rules this year, it is very difficult, the focus rather, for teams to double team successfully, and that is why we're seeing so much isolation with the better one-on-one players. You cannot, if you double team from out high, you've got to do it very quickly and very effectively. You've got to go right to the double team. You can't hang out in the middle between your man and the man you're trying to help out. And as a result, the one-on-one skilled players are really doing much better.
Here's Harper going all the way. Derek Harper with a buzzer basket. So after one, it's the Knicks 24 and the Kings 17.
It's 3 a.m. and you've got to get the year's most important contract to your company's biggest client overseas. And guess what? The fax just won't go through. What are your options? Well, now there's a new option. Call 1-800-THROUGH-FAX, and AT&T's International Fax Service Center will help you solve the problem. Only AT&T guarantees to get your international fax there. No matter what it takes. AT&T for the life of your business.
When you read the New York Times, people think you like to read about economic embargoes and global warming. In fact, real estate.
I may be looking for a place on Pennsylvania Avenue.
The New York Times. Read what you like.
Maybe a big white house with pillars.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
Camry was a success story from the start. Acclaimed best car built in America. Its reputation for quality craftsmanship made Camry the gold standard. It ranked among the top 10 in initial quality 6 years in a row. And Camry is built in a plant in Georgetown, Kentucky, the recipient of the Gold Plant Quality Award. And now the newly styled and refined 1995 Toyota Camry continues to write the book.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
As we get set to start the second quarter in Sacramento, back to the subject of Doc Rivers, who was waived earlier today. John, talk about the move with Knicks coach Pat Riley.
Doc Rivers was a big part of this team for a couple of years, and circumstances presenting themselves, you know, as our roster is right now, we have to move in a direction that we felt was necessary. And you know, with Derek as the starting point guard, with, you know, young, healthy Greg Anthony improving and developing every year, and so it was very difficult to make the decision. And you know, Doc's a classy guy, but these are the decisions you have to make, and we wish him the best, and hope that things go well for him.
Knicks also made another move as Ron Grandison was placed on waivers. Second quarter is underway. Grant hears it from the crowd as he kept it alive. Michael Smith, the rookie from Providence, has checked in for the first time. The Knicks lead 24-17. Marv Albert, John Andres from Arco Arena in Sacramento. Shot clock at 5.
Quite an offense, huh?
Webb fires. And Hubert Davis came away with the rebound. And Greg Anthony, who had not played the last 2 games, on the floor with Hubert Davis in the backcourt. Charles Smith, Anthony Bonner, and Patrick Ewing up front. Here's Smith. Webb and Richmond in the backcourt. Smith with Grant and Williams on the front line. This is Grant. Brian Grant, the rookie from Xavier of Ohio. showing the outside touch, and the Knicks lead is now 5. Good look by Anthony. Ewing coming up short. He thought he was fouled.
Grant did a nice job there.
Herb Williams getting set to come on. Good shooting first quarter for the Knicks. That's Grant again.
Another example of a big man, 6'9", putting the ball on the floor. It went right around Patrick Ewing.
He has hit 3 out of 4. A very impressive showing by Brian Grant. And Smith fouled. Foul on Michael Smith. Herb Williams replacing Patrick Ewing, who sits down with 7 points and 5 rebounds. I started to say in another move today, the Knicks waived forward Ronnie Grandison, the MVP of the CBA last year. He'd been on the injured list since late November. Bobby Hurley on the floor for the first time tonight. Davis came up short, and here comes Hurley pumping it down. Williams foul.
That's the kind of running that turns on the home crowd in any arena. Bobby Hurley getting that ball in his hands, looks for the open man, and he found him down court. Bobby getting that ball head up, looking for the man running hard. Good sequence by the Kings, pushing it up court.
Bobby Hurley in the midst of a remarkable comeback from the automobile accident. Bobby Hurley last season was leading all rookies in assists, averaging 6 per game when a season ended. Just unbelievable that he's back on the court. Now teaming in the backcourt with Randy Brown. Gary St. Jean making some changes. Smith. It's Charles Smith trying to get it back. Michael Smith comes up with it. Brown for Hurley. Grant rebounds, and another opportunity for the Kings.
You can hear the oohing and the eyeing of the fans here when Bobby gets that ball.
And that is a traveling violation. A little bit too much of a spin by Brian Grant. And here is Lionel Simmons checking in for the first time this season. And a standing ovation for the man they call the L Train. Missed the entire preseason and the first 19 games of the regular season after undergoing arthroscopic surgery on his right knee. So Lionel Simmons returns. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Davis and a loose ball foul charged against Bonner. The Knicks 24 and the Kings 22. Hurley handling against Anthony. Grant thought he had a little change his mind. Brown, the tip. Welcome back, Lionel Simmons.
Charles Smith did not pay attention to him.
And the Knicks take a 22nd timeout. The Kings have tied the game at 24.
Well, one of the interesting continuing stories, we'll take a look at this last basket, though. Simmons back strong, got right inside Charles Smith. A feature story in today's paper about Bobby Hurley. And I'll excerpt some of the words from this article. In an extraordinary demonstration of his eagerness to put his accident behind him, he instructed his attorney to ask Sacramento County prosecutors to drop the reckless driving charges against the man he had the accident with. Mr. Hurley has no interest in having you proceed with the prosecution, and he wants to drop it, get it behind him. So Bobby is hoping to erase this horrible memory and continue his NBA career without any further reference to that accident.
Bobby with much rooting interest back in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. Anthony had it knocked away. Shot clock at 3. Bonner has to go to the jump shot. Rebounded by Williams. Rare miss these days for Herb Williams.
You get a sense of the energy that the Kings are getting off their bench with some of their players now. It's a different job now for the Knicks bench players to come in and equal that enthusiasm.
Michael Smith with the good look. Yes, and it counts. Ryan Grant with the basket, and he'll go to the line. So the Kings with 9 unanswered points to open up the second quarter.
Fine ball movement. You can see Grant wide open under the basket. Slam dunk and the foul. Anthony Bonner called a quick team meeting under the basket. Called for Charles Smith to come in and have a conversation. The rookies on the Kings. Sudden impact is certainly the name of what they're doing. Between them, 20 points a game and a host of rebounds. They are very mature.
And Grant, one of the keys to this run by Sacramento, 10-0 for the Kings in the second quarter. Hubert Davis continues to have his problem.
Boy, he had time too, and that's the shot he wants.
Another open shot. And this one, he's able to get the roll on. So Hubert, after missing his first 3, connects, and the Knicks are down by 1. 5 minutes in, second quarter. Williams switching out on Hurley, and trying to dish off to the cutting Michael Smith. 3-on-2, and Bonner was stopped by Brown. Foul committed by Randy Brown. Randy Brown in his 4th year out of New Mexico State. Solid defensive player, hard-nosed guy. Timeout taken. We'll be right back.
I don't get it. Some guy bets 228 and makes $3 million.
Can you imagine what Willie Mays would be worth today?
Yeah.
No holiday sweepstakes.
Another Heineken, right?
Yeah, please.
No blimp with our name on it. No racing team.
Hey, Mays.
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
Where's all that money come from?
Ticket prices.
Yeah, I guess.
And all those beer commercials.
How many chances do you have in your life to change the quality of life in your own community? That's one of the reasons American Express card members are continuing the charge against hunger. You can go look into the eyes of people and see that they're doing better. Helped in a real way. Help by getting a meal. Help by getting a chance to get back on their feet.
Every time you use your American Express card, you'll help provide a meal for someone who's hungry. So help raise another $5 million because the
court.
Well, it goes a little both ways. You know, I want to be out there, and that's, but it's really testing my patience. But I realize that there's still a lot I need to learn, and I'm still trying to recover and get stronger.
But you know, Marv, he's happy to be here. That's the primary thing, because after that horrendous accident, it's almost a year to the day. It's just remarkable that he's playing.
Brown stripped by Anthony. 6.5 remaining in this first half, and the Knicks are trailing by 1. And the officials checking with each other, and they're saying jump ball. Joe Crawford was closest to the basketball, but no one had a good look at it. Looking over at Bill Spooner and Gary Benson, and the wise move is to jump it up. John Starks returns. Hubert Davis sitting down. Anthony Mason being waved on. And he'll replace Charles Smith. For those of you who may have just tuned in, Charles Oakley sitting it out tonight, bothered by the toe injury, the dislocated toe, so he is sidelined tonight. Anthony Mason in the starting lineup. And the call against Mason, offensive foul. He set an illegal pick in trying to screen for Starks.
The Knicks need scoring. Interesting lineup here now. Anthony Mason and Anthony Bonner at the forwards, which means the scoring has to come from the backcourt. Now we're looking at John Starks and Greg Anthony and Herb Williams out there. So the Knicks have got to get instant production out of Starks or Williams. That seems to be the best part of their offense.
Bonner called for his second foul. The Kings have outscored the Knicks here in the second quarter 10-2. So over the first 6 minutes of the second quarter, the Knicks with only 2 points. Simmons will go to the foul line. He drew the foul. And And again, it's Bonner. Lionel Simmons will shoot a couple. Anthony Bonner picked up his third foul. Gary St. Jean is going to have the kind of problem that Pat Riley was referring to the other day. A lot of players tough to find the minutes. Lionel Simmons in his 5th NBA season, adding to that log jam, averaging 17 points a game over his career. Dipped down to 15 a game last year, which was his NBA career low. You know, you might think it's a pleasant problem, but usually the best teams go with an 8-man rotation. Further than that, there are always guys complaining. It's better to see 4 guys who know they're not going to play.
See, you've been hanging around Coach Riley.
I know, it's just
it's rubbed off.
It's awful. Herb Williams with his first field goal. Is that what he said?
Night and day.
Game tied at 28. 5.5 remaining in this first half, and Patrick Ewing will check back in. Replacing Herb Williams, Sacramento will maintain possession.
A couple of adjustments now, and the Knicks have their scoring back in the front line with Smith and Ewing back.
Grant, rebounded by Smith. Michael Smith. And they reset. Now Grant posting up. Grant taking it right at Ewing. Brian Grant, the 6'9" rookie, with a beautiful move, and he did it in the face of Patrick Ewing.
Bob, who does he think he is to do that to the veteran Ewing at 6'9"?
Ewing could not answer. Starks for 3. Yes. John Starks buries the 3-pointer, and Starks is 4 of 5. He has 10 points. The Knicks lead by 1.
John didn't even involve the rim on that. That was splash.
Grant, nice ball movement. Pretty lead from Simmons.
Ewing comes up limping. There was no hands-up defense by the Knicks inside the foul line on that play. Those passes are going unobstructed by the Kings.
Kings by 1. Ewing posting up on Grant. Off the fake.
Well, if Grant can make Ewing take fall-away jumpers, he should get a medal.
Ewing is now 3 for 10. And a traveling violation. Grant is 5 for 6 from the field in the second quarter. Here's Derek Hopper back. The Knicks now with Hopper and Starks at the guards. Ewing, Smith, and Mason up front. Good lead pass from Starks to set up Smith. Charles Smith with 6, and the Knicks lead by 1.
Good play call by Pat Riley. Ewing went to the other side, and they went right to Charles Smith, and he made that relationship a mismatch.
Simmons. Mason with the rebound. Starks with no hesitation.
Tough to shoot after that motion. He's moving so quickly.
Simmons with a pretty feed for Smith. Sacramento 34 and the Knicks 33. Good decisions being made by the Kings.
They're also playing an exciting style of basketball with their running game.
Sacramento coming off a Tuesday night win over the Warriors in Oakland. Hopper. That's a 2-point shot for Derek Hopper. And the Knicks lead by 1. Kings have won 5 of their last 6. How about Golden State? 7 straight losses, 11 of the last 12. And Don Nelson hospitalized due to pneumonia, and his son, Don, that's D-O-double Nelson, taking over as the interim coach. Shot clock running down. It's a 24-second violation.
Yes, their moves haven't worked out there. It's a big surprise to see Golden State shrinking right now.
You know, I really hate it when my CD player dies before the disc finishes. So I use Energizer AA lithium batteries from Nobody Beats the Wiz. They just keep on going.
Hi, I'm Dan Reeves of the New York Giants. Hi, I'm Pete Carroll, head coach of the New York Jets. It's not easy shopping for 47 players for Christmas presents. When you go to Marsh's, you get all the help you need.
It's Marsh's holiday sale. Save big on great gifts for your home team. Fabulous men's and boys clothing, 20% off. Incredible outerwear, 50% off. Famous name tuxedos, $2.99. Special holiday hours Monday through Saturday, 10 to 9, Sunday, 12 to 5.
Marsh's men's and boys at Huntington Village.
Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Rolls-Royce, all found at Raleigh Motors on Northern Boulevard in Roslyn. From the moment you enter Raleigh, you'll know we're different. From our magnificent showroom to our state-of-the-art service facility. Raleigh Motors, the metropolitan area's premier luxury car dealership, where it costs no more to go first class. Raleigh Motors, authorized Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Rolls-Royce dealer.
Save me! Save me! Save me! I'm being held here at Franklin Square Ford. And you can save me and dozens of other Benjamin Franklins when you buy any new Ford, a new conversion van, or a quality pre-owned car at Franklin Square Ford. Don't let them keep me here another minute when you can put me in your pocket and have a new Ford in your driveway too. Franklin Square Ford, 690 Hempstead Turnpike, Franklin Square.
Delta Airlines presents the next couple of days for the Knicks. The upcoming schedule tomorrow night at Phoenix. Knicks game night 7:30. Sunday the Knicks travel up to Portland for the Trailblazers, and then Tuesday return home to the New Jersey Nets. Knicks game night then will be 7:30 as well. Knicks will get a look at the very deep Phoenix Suns with Kevin Johnson returning. That was Grant on that last move inside for the Kings.
He has been hot throughout the second quarter. Starks with a hard driving move. Oh, you know that Pat Riley loves to see John Starks going back to the drive. He drew the foul. So with 2:20 remaining in this first half, Starks to the line. Simmons picked up the foul. And the Knicks now lead 36-34.
When a coach believes in one of their players, and the player isn't performing like John hasn't been, that's when coaches' stomachs get tighter and the lines in the face get deeper. Pat Riley, you know, has been going through substantial stress dealing with the downs of John Starks of late.
Feel Pat's stomach is getting tighter?
Oh, I do, yeah. Because it can't get much tighter anyway.
I see. Yes,
he is slim.
3-point lead by the Knicks, and a timeout was called by Richmond, who was off balance. It's a 20-second timeout taken by the Sacramento Kings. The way John Starks is going here in the first half, he may be carrying that copy of Game 7 around with him and check it out on a regular basis. Well, for those who may have just joined us, a host of developments involving the Knicks today. Doc Rivers, Ron Grandison placed on waivers. Charles Oakley sitting it out because of the dislocated toe bothering him. Anthony Mason making his first start of the season with Oakley sideline, and John Starks was placed back in the starting lineup. His whip for three with just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half, and the Knicks lead by 3 points. Ewing with the fake on Caldwell, and he has been way off. Patrick Ewing now 3 for 11. He's missed his last 5 shots.
Patrick going exclusively to the jump shot here in the first half. It doesn't seem his opponents deserve that. He should be rolling to the basket as he's been doing lately.
Mitch Richmond to the turnaround. 9 points for Richmond. I mentioned earlier he's the second highest scoring guard in the NBA behind Jim Jackson, who had a pretty fair game tonight. Jackson with 40 points for Dallas in their victory over the Celtics. Derek Harper with 6 points, and the Knicks lead by 3. Dallas beat Boston 122-113. 40 for Jackson, 27 from Mashburn.
Jackson number 2 in the NBA in scoring behind Shaquille.
Richmond got it over Ewing after he beat Starks. Mitch Richmond coming off a 29-point game against his former club, the Golden State Warriors, the other night. Harper rebounded by Michael Smith. 30 seconds left in the half. Richmond. Caldwell back. Starks for Mason. It counts, and the foul.
Well, if you're his Knicks teammates, you got to love Mason for running the court like he was a blur coming down court to get that pass. John Starks with the head up sees Mason, who's ahead of everybody. Boy, that would have lit up Madison Square Garden. John Starks with another look at Mason, filling the lane and finishing that play.
And back trying to defend against the powerful Anthony Mason was the 5'7" Spud Webb. He was called for the foul. Starks sitting down. Mason trying to complete the three-point play. Portland leads Seattle 52-45 at the half. Bob Page will bring you up to date at the MSG Sports Desk during the course of our halftime. 4-point lead for the Knicks. 10 seconds remaining in this first half. Walt Williams checked the clock. Now to 5 seconds. Caldwell. So at the half here in Sacramento, the Knicks leading the Kings 42-38. Knicks led by 7 at the quarter. Got off to a slow start in the second quarter. 10 unanswered points by the Kings, but the Knicks able to settle down, lead by 4 at halftime. Coming up in just a moment, Bob Page at the Sports Desk.
And next week is my 5th wedding anniversary. It's unbelievable how time flies.
Did you get her a present yet?
Yeah, I'm getting her a really nice washer and dryer.
Oh, come on. She'll never forgive you. You got to get her something for her.
It is for her.
No blondes in bikinis.
Get a jewel.
No sales pitch from the chairman.
Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
The Knicks led in this first half by John Starks. 4 out of 6 from the field, 12 points. The rookie Brian Grant leading Sacramento with 13. Knicks by 4 at halftime. Now to Bob Page in New York.
Thank you, Marv. Good evening again, everybody. It is still early, obviously, in the NBA season, but the Lakers have to be one of the surprises so far. L.A. went into Houston, beat the defending champion Rockets tonight, 97-94. Both teams are now 13-7. Del Harris doing a nice job in his first year with the Lakers. They led by 2 at halftime. Third quarter, Queens native Kenny Smith misses. Cedric Ceballos to Nick Van Exel to Eddie Jones for a vicious jam. The rookie out of Temple had 16 points. This one went down to the wire. Rockets trailing by 4 with less than 40 seconds to go. Robert Horry with a bank shot. He had 19 points, but Rudy T still found himself down 3 in the final seconds. Horry gets a good look. His triple is off. And the Lakers, behind 36 points from Ceballos, escape with a win. The team had 22 points, 14 rebounds for Houston. Exciting finish at Miami, where the Heat and Denver were tied at 99. Rodney Rogers hits a shot in the lane in the final seconds. Miami out of timeouts. They inbound quickly. Bimbo Coles to win it, in and out. Nuggets had a 101-99 victory. Undoubtedly afraid of the fallout from Washington, Major League Baseball owners blinked today. They backed off their threat to unilaterally impose that salary cap on the players. The owners say they will now give the players 7 additional days to work out an agreement, and then the cap will go into effect.
If you can bridge the philosophical differences, I can assure you can get it on paper. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's the issue. We're asking for some form of control. At this point, they've shown a reluctance to give it. If they show a willingness to give it, I guarantee you we can get it on paper.
Yankees today signed former All-Star shortstop Tony Fernandez to a free agent contract, a man who failed so miserably in his brief stay with the Mets just a couple of years ago. I'll have more right after these messages.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp. Turns dandruff problems into great-looking hair.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful.
You know, Coach Mann coming here, you know, the new wide receiver coach.
All coats shown on sale, $149.99.
Thousands of shoppers make Christmas the time to give a Carrot Shop diamond. At 50% or more savings, there's a size and shape for every budget.
I found the selection here was a lot bigger than most of the other stores. It's showing me all different styles and settings.
50% off, you know it's a great savings.
This is a place with the greatest selection and the best prices.
An engagement ring under the tree would be very nice.
The Carrot Shop's got it.
Ooh, the Carrot Shop's got it. Diamonds and gold.
Save me, save me, save me! I'm being held here at Franklin Square Ford, and you can save me and dozens of other Benjamin Franklins when you buy any new Ford, a new conversion van, or a quality pre-owned car at Franklin Square Ford. Don't let them keep me here another minute when you can put me in your pocket and have a new Ford in your driveway too. Franklin Square Ford, 690 Hempstead Turnpike, Franklin Square.
Halftime in Sacramento, Marv Albert with John Andres, and the Knicks with a 42-38 lead on the Sacramento Kings. A look at the leading scorers. Summary brought to you by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer, or call 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE. John Starks with the stroke returning in 17 minutes, 4 out of 6 from the field, 2 from downtown, 12 points in all. Patrick Ewing off at 3 of 11, 7 points apiece for Ewing, and Mason, Hopper, and Smith each with 6. While the Kings, led by the good-looking rookie out of Xavier of Ohio, Brian Grant, who is doing it right in the face of Patrick Ewing on a number of occasions. Grant with 13 points to lead the way, 6 of 8 from the field in his 11 minutes. Mitch Richmond with 11 points, Williams with 5, and Polynice with 4. But I would think the Knicks have to be satisfied with what took place in the first half, holding Sacramento to only 38 points. The Knicks had that one off stretch. They went 3:45 without a field goal as Sacramento reeled off 10 straight points, but they were able to settle down, and a good first half for the Knicks.
The way Richmond started out, Marv, I thought he might have 20 at the half, and Pat Riley stayed with John Starks on him, and it worked out. Although it looked like it was going to kill the Knicks, but they hung in, and if they can get the touch back for Patrick Ewing, they can really coast a little bit more in the second half as Patrick was off.
All right, a look at some of the highlights from the first half.
Surprise off the bench, rookie Brian Grant stopped by Ewing, goes to the jump shot. A very impressive first half for Brian Grant. Mitch Richmond started the game going one-on-one against John Starks, and he continued for a while. He's so tough. He's got deceptive moves and a tremendous 6'5" strong body. The Knicks defense returned in the first half. This was one particular sequence where everything that the Kings tried, they got rejected. John Starks pushing up very hard. Walt Williams could get nowhere. Spud Webb gave the ball back out to Williams. Starks from behind. The Knicks combined to force the tough shot by the Kings, and then Anthony Mason recovered that basketball. And a look at John Starks. Folks at the Garden who've been frustrated by John shooting got a nice surprise tonight watching John in the first half. 4 out of 6 from the field for John Starks and 5 assists.
The Knicks with a 4-point lead as we head to the second half. We'll be right back.
Get an in-depth look at this year's St. John's team with interviews, features, and great action highlights on Red Storm Rising. Saturday night, right here on MSG.
If you're a young, goal-oriented individual and you're looking for a secure financial future, Vision Investment Group is the answer. Vision Investment Group is looking for hardworking professionals with the desire to control their financial future. After a 90-day training period, you'll be a top-notch salesman and a fully licensed stockbroker. Last year, the average broker made $128,000. This could be you. Vision Investment Group, the answer to a positive financial future. Call 516-249-2900.
See it to believe it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center in Farmingdale. A better way to buy better menswear. Aisle after aisle, one great name after another at prices you won't believe. We sell only brand new first quality current season menswear. Suits, sport coats, slacks, outerwear, ties, belts, and more. If you can't find it here for less, they don't make it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center. Nobody beats our prices. Nobody.
Now open Thursday through Monday till Christmas for all your holiday shopping.
399 Smith Street, a block and a half east of Route 110.
If you're shopping around for a new car, it makes perfect sense to visit the one dealership that displays the most popular brands. Hi, I'm Bob Neisner for all my friends at East Hills Chrysler Jeep in Roslyn. Whether you want to buy or lease a brand new Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep, or Eagle, you're sure to find what you're looking for when you visit East Hills Chrysler Jeep. It's the one place you'll find a complete inventory without disappointment. And when it comes to price, you'll find my friends at East Hills Chrysler Jeep very, very customer friendly.
Or is it this one? Which child will learn to use a toothbrush? Who will have a chance to sing? The choice is yours. Volunteer for Head Start. With your help, more...
Four as we get set for the start of the third quarter. The Knicks shooting at 43% in the first half, 18 of 42. And the Kings at 46% from the field. Knicks with a slight edge off the board. Look at the assist difference. 12 assists by the Knicks, only 4 for the Kings.
Bench points interesting too, with the Kings getting 18 points to the Knicks 4. A Toyota matchup featuring two intended high scorers, and it's turning out pretty well for John Starks with 12 points, excellent shooting, and his assists were right there, solid half. Mitch Richmond started out like crazy and then slowed down as the Knicks were able to hold him back a bit.
Spud Webb, Mitch Richmond in the backcourt. Walt Williams, Wayne Coswell, and Olden Polynice up front for the Sacramento Kings. Knicks open up with Hopper and Starks at the guards. Ewing, Smith, and Mason. Mason for the injured Oakley. Starks. And back comes Williams. Walt Williams isolated against Charles Smith. Nice setup and a foul on Smith that will send Coswell to the line. Ewing came over to help, and then Smith picked up Coswell and was called for the foul.
Williams lost 20 pounds in the off-season, had a down year last year considering his talents, and it showed on that move very specifically. He was moving very quickly and set up his teammate beautifully.
Walt Williams averaging just under 16 per game, coming off, as you mentioned, a disappointing second season in the NBA. Coswell not a good free throw shooter. And as I say that, swish.
You have a way,
yes,
Marv, of pointing out the inadequacies in foul shooters and having them make you look very silly.
54%.
You've been around the NBA a while? I enjoy these moments, Marv. It's nice to get on top of you.
Do you think he's a good foul shooter, John? You're saying the timing of my remarks.
Yes, the timing.
Mason. And the strip by Richmond. Williams ahead of the field. The Knicks lead is down to 1. Starks got the step and then lost it. Again, the Kings on the run and a foul.
That was one of those moves by John where he puts his head down and just goes. The problem is there were 3 or 4 Kings there in front of him.
So Mitch Richmond to the line.
John gets that move going left. All of a sudden, there's no room. There's no lane. There's no hole to go through. And he coughed it up.
Mitch Richmond with his 12th point. Number 7 in scoring in the NBA, averaging 24 a game. Shaquille O'Neal just under 30 per game. Jim Jackson, who scored 40 earlier tonight in the Dallas victory over Boston, is right behind Shaquille O'Neal.
Boy, Richmond last year voted to the second-team All-NBA. First player in the Kings franchise history since Otis Birdsong in 1981 to get all-league honors. Wow.
Oh, strong move by Mason. Yes, and it counts. And Anthony Mason will go to the line. Coswell picked up the foul.
Mason getting a good position. Nice lead pass from John Starks. And a deceptive move. Mason so tough around the basket for anybody to deal with.
Third foul committed by Coswell. Mason completing the three-point play. 10 points and 5 rebounds. Anthony Mason, a solid performance, making his first start of the season. The Knicks lead 45-43. Early third. Richmond for 3. Rebounded by Ewing. He was looking for that long outlet again. Ewing. And the Knicks open up a 4-point lead.
Nice look from Mason. Good passing by the Knicks.
9 points with Patrick Ewing.
The Knicks are hitting their shots. This fast break, which is so tough for the Kings, goes to sleep. But they're forced into a half-court game once the Knicks continue shooting the ball well.
Williams for 3. And the ball will go to the Knicks.
You'll notice, Marv, at the over the baskets, the 24-second clock here in the Arco Arena has a side view. Never seen that before in the NBA. It enables more fans to get a sense of that 24-second clock.
John exploring all phases of the game. Good pickup. I'm noticing that for the first time. There's Webb on the run.
I also have a producer who talks to me.
Coswell brings the Kings within 2. Oh, so you did not notice that yourself?
Well, I didn't know.
Hopper for 3. And here's Webb penetrating. Spud Webb allowed to go the lane. Ties the game at 47. And the Knicks take a 20-second timeout.
It was plays like that by the Miami Heat the other night that had to shake up the Knicks coaching staff. When the Knicks big men are in position defensively and have someone like Spud Webb do what he just does, Knicks are back. No one responds to the guy. I mean, he was coming full steam. There was no surprise there. And the Knicks just did not get back internally and have those big men present a defensive presence at all.
8:46 remaining in the third quarter, and the Knicks and the Kings are now tied at 47 as the Knicks open up this 3-game Western swing. A very difficult trip. Phoenix tomorrow night, Sunday night at Portland. Charles Oakley sitting it out tonight. The dislocated toe bothering him once again. And you know that he had to be in great pain to sit it out.
I asked him also, Marv, right before the game. I said, what are the chances for tomorrow, Charles? As Patrick Ewing draws the foul by moving to the basket. And Charles said, I just don't know. I probed him, I pushed him, I prodded him, Marv.
It was the Mike Wallace treatment. Yes, I'd agree.
And Charles said, I just don't know. I said, more like 70-30 against Charles. He said, I don't know. So I got the same answer no matter what we presented. But you're right, he must be in great pain. This is the first miss. Only Charles Smith and Derek Harper and Charles Oakley were the 3 who have started every game this year. And I might point out that Charles Oakley started all games last year for the Knicks, 82. one of the few in the NBA to do that.
Foul on Caldwell is 4th. And the Knicks now lead by 2. Well, Charles can pay a personal visit to the Nike plant in Portland on Sunday. They may not be too happy to see him.
That's right. He may be bought from the company store where some of us are intending to visit.
Richmond has tied the game at 49. Nike people designing a well-publicized shoe that was supposed to help Charles, although in all fairness, I don't think that Charles wore it properly and gave it the chance. Foul called on Polynice. There are 2 sides to that story, and they are still in the process of trying to develop the shoe that will help protect the dislocated toe. Charles going with the dress shoe look tonight in cities.
Charles did mention to me also, Marv, in practice here yesterday, he noted that the floor here in the Arco Arena is very hard. Might be a surprise to some basketball fans, but the floors can vary depending on the construction of the building from arena to arena, and he took that into account as well.
Knicks 51, the Kings 49. Richmond getting down low. Too much on it. And Ewing able to come up with it. And Harper regroups. Starks off the pick. Mason. Starks again. Looked like Gary St. Jean was guarding John Starks from behind. He actually clapped his hands right behind Starks to try and distract him.
He was so angry. He waved his arms. Oh, he's just furious. And Gary St. Jean did everything but get on the court, as you say, Marv. John Starks got the good look and the return pass, which enabled him to make that hoop.
A 3-pointer for Starks, and the Knicks now lead by 5. Starks is at 5 and a 9. He has 15. Smith off the lead from Ewing. And Patrick Ewing looking to throw those long lead passes. The Knicks have opened up a 7-point lead off a 9-1 run.
What they do is simple. So simple it would be easy to miss it altogether. But they're making a difference. You see, drunk driving fatalities are down 32% in the last 10 years. And fatalities from teen drunk driving are down 60%. So to everyone who checks an ID, offers to call a cab, or helps a customer know when to say when, we extend our thanks. By doing what's right, you are making things better. A message from Budweiser.
Shop to win in the Discover Card Big Payback. That's what Richard and Rebecca Davis did. They just won 50 grand in our weekly bonus prize drawing. You could be a winner, too. Every time you use your card, you're automatically entered in the Big Payback. So keep shopping, because we'll be dropping more $50,000 bonus prizes before the ultimate $1 million grand prize. It pays to Discover. The card with the Big Payback.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1? Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late. So exactly what will I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold 8-hour presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
Our AT&T long-distance shooting demonstration coming up. Knicks moving the ball to the corner. John Starks on the miss. John, don't be unhappy. He's patient. Good things can happen. And Anthony Mason on the offensive rebound. John Starks with the 3. A little clapping from behind, too, from this man, Gary St. Jean, who was very unhappy. Now, normally, that's not the normal Gary expression. He's a very happy-go-lucky guy. But his team is doing so well now these days. He expects a little bit more efficient defensive play than he saw in that last sequence.
Walt Williams. Caldwell lost it. The Knicks with a 7-point lead. 6:25 to go in the third quarter. Well, Derek Harper tried to pull up, tried to get a little too tricky. And it nullified the fast break.
I mean, that's unbelievable. He had so many decisions. I think he confused himself. He could have had a man left or right, and it might have worked out just fine.
And Richmond tripped up by Starks. That's his third foul. Notice the new uniforms for the Sacramento Kings. They have introduced a new logo, new team colors, new home and road uniforms. It's the team's 7th logo change since its founding as the old Rochester Royals back in 1948. Jerry Reynolds, now the director of player personnel for the Kings, said it's not like we're risking a great tradition or anything by making the change.
Jerry Reynolds, always a refreshing guy to talk to.
They're hoping it's the start of a tradition here with the Kings turning it around in the early going this season. Mason on a fall-away. And the Knicks now lead Sacramento 58-49. Backdoor pass for Polynice, who was fouled. Foul committed by Ewing. And that is only his first. Here is Brian Grant, who had a hot shooting second quarter. Grant, the rookie from Xavier of Ohio, replacing Dwayne Coswell, sits down with 3 points and 4 fouls. And Olden Polynice to the line. John Olden is a 68% free throw shooter. I say that with confidence as he misses on the first. Actually, he has improved his free throw shooting, and from the field, a different story. Number 4 in the NBA at 59%. The reason for that, he shoots just about everything from close in. Michael Smith also among the leaders at 57%.
Olden playing in the forward position most of the time these days. Is also leading his team in rebounding in a game.
8-point lead for the Knicks. They double up on Hopper momentarily. And the foul against Ewing, setting the illegal pick. That is his second foul.
Got to be careful when you set a pick that you do not move as that contact takes place. If you move, it's a foul by the offensive man.
Walt Williams handles the ball very well for a guy 6'8". Spud left. Spud with the floater to cut it to a 6-point Knick lead.
What a crazy play. Big Walt Williams bringing the ball up court at 6'8", and Spud Webb coming off a pick for the driving shot.
Mason. And it was Patrick Ewing outside as the setup man for Anthony Mason. And the Knicks now lead 60-52. Mason now guarding Grant. Richmond posting up again. And has difficulty. Lost it. Knicks doing a good job now on Richmond. Starks fouled by Webb.
Well, this offense is so predictable now by the Kings. I mean, they're just going down, getting it to Richmond, and then hoping good things happen. So the Knicks are now in the groove and looking for it and helping out John Starks quite nicely.
Greg Anthony has come on for Derek Hopper. So Anthony and Starks in the backcourt. Smith, Ewing, and Mason up front. Smith putting the move on Grant. And he'll go to the line. Foul called on Grant.
Grant was pounding him long before he got the ball.
Charles Smith, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. .11 points to Charles Smith, who is in the midst of a very strong run. Last 6 games averaging 19.5 per game, shooting 53%. The Knicks by 10. It's their biggest lead of the night.
Charles also shooting at 85% from the line over his last 11 games. 12 out of 13 the last game against Miami.
Williams was looking for some movement. Oh, what a move he put on, gliding past Charles Smith.
He seemed to go into another gear at the end of that move, a faster gear.
8-point Nick lead. Anthony Bonner getting set. Check back in. Ewing. Patrick Ewing with a strong maneuver to get down low. Ewing with 13, and the Knicks lead by 10, and the Knicks in this third quarter are scoring on almost every possession. No stops by the Kings. Grant. Rebound Ewing.
See, the fast break has gone away for the Kings because the Knicks are making their shots. Now in this half-court offense, it's strictly one-on-one situations, which enables the Knicks to kind of gather their resources and help out who's ever in that one-on-one matchup, and they're doing that.
Offensive foul on Charles Smith. Charles sitting down. Bonner comes on. Michael Smith, the rookie from Providence, back on the floor. Set play being run here by the Kings. I don't think that was the shot they had in mind, though. Walt Williams not able to hit. Just under 3 minutes to go in the third. Ewing played by Michael Smith. Webb off the steal. Webb goes to the inside to beat Anthony.
What a beautiful move.
And the Knicks call for time. 8-point Knick lead, 2:35 left in the third.
When you've tried the rest, try the best. Minolta Pocket Binoculars. Great lookers that are great looking. At Nobody Beats the Wiz.
You've got to see it to believe it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center in Farmingdale. A better way to buy better menswear. Aisle after aisle. One great name after another at prices you won't believe. We sell only brand new first quality current season menswear. Suits, sport coats, slacks, outerwear, ties, belts, and more. If you can't find it here for less, they don't make it. The Men's Apparel Liquidation Center. Nobody beats our prices. Nobody.
Now open Thursday through Monday till Christmas for all your holiday shopping.
399 Smith Street, a block and a half east of Route 110.
Thousands of shoppers make Christmas the time to give a Carrot Shop diamond. At 50% or more savings, there's a size and shape for every budget.
I found the selection here was a lot bigger than most of the other stores. It's showing me all different styles and settings.
50% off, you know it's a great savings.
This is a place with the greatest selection and the best prices.
An engagement ring under the tree would be very nice.
The Carrot Shop's got it.
Ooh, the Carrot Shop's got it. Diamonds and gold.
Championship playoff system to determine a true national champion of college football. What about the Heisman Trophy balloting? Who should have won this year? So many issues to talk about in the college game, and we'll do that next on Page One with Keith Jackson, the veteran ABC TV play-by-play announcer, and Chuck Ninus, head of the CFA. Hope you can join us right here again on Page One.
Don't miss the all-new holiday musical from the composer of Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, A Christmas Carol at the Paramount, now through January 1st, presented by Nobody Beats the Wiz. Tickets are on sale now at the Garden Box Office and all Ticketmaster outlets.
Marv Albert with John Andres from Arco Arena. Sacramento, better than 17,000 on hand as Starks explodes. John Starks looking like the John Starks of old. He did hit the jump shot early. He now has 17 points in all, 6 of 10 from the field. He's hit 3 from downtown, and the Knicks have opened up a 10-point lead.
I thought John might have wanted to sail through the basket himself just to make sure it went down. He was up there.
Richmond now played by, Grant played by Mason.
Great help by Patrick Ewing. This one-on-one offense of the Kings is falling right into the Knicks' hands because they have 4 and 5 defenders waiting.
Ewing with a second block of the night. Ewing goes to the hook over Smith. Ewing felt he was pushed. Minute 35 remaining third quarter. Knicks at 8 for 13 here in the quarter. Pretty move by Walt Williams. 11 points for Williams. The Knicks lead 66-58. Ewing, yes. Patrick Ewing, after the slow start, has come on. He has 15 points, 13 rebounds. The Knicks lead by 10. Starks got a piece of it, and then the foul is called. As John Starks applauding the call. He knew that Joe Crawford was calling it on Mitch Richmond. He was so excited he gave Joe a little pat.
And the fans are saying, come on, you're a con man.
Yeah. Enthusiasm of John Starks, who has to feel very good about the way things have turned here tonight. Just under a minute left in the third.
Couple of minutes back, though, John Starks went baseline on Richmond for that slam dunk.
Starks misses on both, gets it back. How fortunes can change quickly. But the Knicks lead by 10. Williams gets inside. The Knicks 68, the Kings 60. Down to 35 seconds remaining in the third. Mason with the post up on Grant. Stripped by Williams. Mason on the recovery. Rebounded by Grant. Mason with the steal. Went behind the back.
I don't think John wants to rush up a jumper.
Well, the pass nearly picked off, and now it is. Final seconds of the third. Webb for three. 4 seconds left, third quarter. 5-point Knick lead. I don't think Greg Anthony realizes the quarter was running down, and then nearly hit.
Greg was sleeping.
Greg Anthony lazily came out of the backcourt, and it cost the Knicks, not able to get a final shot off. Everybody limbo!
Introducing the JVC Easy One, the first point-and-shoot camcorder.
It's so easy, you'll fall in love.
A look at the most improved teams in the NBA. Dallas 1-16 at this time last year, 9-8, so they're a +8. Sacramento 5-14, turning it to 11-8. In fact, that's the Kings' best mark in the Sacramento era through 19 games. And earlier, John talked about that with the coach of the Kings, Gary St. Jean.
Gary, your team has turned many corners this season. What is the big difference for the success of the Kings?
Coaching. Seriously, John, we really have got a commitment from our players defensively. We talked in the offseason what we had to do to become a better ball club. It stared us right in the face. We're a better transition team. We're a better half-court defensive team. We're rebounding better. There's a focus and a commitment and a trust. And there's a new identity on this team. We've got 2 young rookies. We're more athletic. And with Bobby coming back and Walt Williams having a good start, we think our future's bright. We're going to get Lionel Simmons back tonight and eventually get Brukowski, and we're a better basketball team.
The numbers say they're the 6th best defensive team in the NBA now. They're allowing 10 fewer points per game to their opponents. That is a dramatic increase. He has sold defense to his team.
Illegal defense called on the Kings for the first time. And as the Knicks get the new 24, Bonner on the drive was fouled by Williams.
You can see the fewest points allowed leaders, the Cleveland Cavaliers, doing a great job. And there's Sacramento. They've climbed up among the leaders in the NBA at denying their opponents points.
How about those Cavaliers? Obviously, Mike Fratello getting a lot of help from his assistants. Coming off the double overtime victory against the Nets last night, and They have been doing it with a host of key players injured, including Brad Dowdy and Gerald Wilkins. The Knicks will face the Cavs at Madison Square Garden next Thursday night. 69-63. The Knicks with the lead as this fourth quarter gets underway. Ryan Grant cuts it to a 4-point Knick advantage. Herb Riley going with Greg Anthony and John Starks in the backcourt. Anthony Mason, Anthony Bonner, Herb Williams up front.
Kings have not felt Herb Williams' game for the minutes he's been on the floor tonight until this moment. I wanted to set that up for Herb, so it looks like tremendous impact, which that was for the Knicks.
Herb Williams with his second field goal. He is 2 of 3, so Herb is now 17 for his last 21. And a foul is called as Grant tried to stuff on the reverse. Foul committed by Williams. Charles Smith returns, replacing Anthony Mason, who's played very well. 14 points, 7 rebounds for Mason. Webb and Richmond in the backcourt. Williams up front with Smith and Grant. Walt Williams is fouled. Anthony Bonner called for his 4th.
Boy, it's so visible how much better Williams is moving this season with his slimming down, and he's a heck of an offensive player. Outside, inside, good passer as well.
Although he comes off a couple of poor shooting games, 3 of 14 the other night against the Warriors. Sunday night against Portland, 3 of 19 from the field. He missed his first 7 and then went 3 for 19. 71-67 Knicks. Here's Williams again. Herb Williams off the bench to hit 3 of 4 for 6 points, and the Knicks now lead 73-67. That's 2-point range for Richmond. Richmond has been quiet after the fast start. He now has 17 points. Williams with the steal. Michael Smith showing good hands. And Bonner gets to the loose ball. What a catch by Michael Smith in traffic. Knicks by 4 points. Charles Smith pops it out to Greg Anthony for 3. Greg Anthony continues his excellent shooting.
Boy, was he on target. I mean, he was perfect with that shot after getting that nice return pass from Charles Smith.
The Knicks 76, the Kings 69. Grant able to recover the dribble after he lost it.
Boy, there's a guy who didn't participate in training camp because of salary negotiations, and he came into the league and took over right away.
17 for Grant. Charles Smith, yes, and it counts. So Smith will go to the line.
Marv, the importance of the pass that sets up the big man on a play like that. I mean, that pass to Smith just sent him in the right direction. That had a lot to do with the success. Derek Harper giving him the ball just perfectly. I mean, Grant thought he had Smith under control, but the pass was really the thing there. That's the key. That's Derek Harper just beautifully delivering the ball.
And the foul on Grant, so Smith will go to the line. Saw the replay artistry of our excellent director Bobby Lewis celebrating a birthday today. John, a very youthful-looking 33, wouldn't you say?
I think Bob has seen 33 in time gone by. Also want to wish happy birthday to Knicks Vice President John Cirillo's dad, who we understand is watching this game at home in Brooklyn tonight. We're going to send somebody from the Nielsen rating service to see if he is in fact still awake.
Yes. Harper called for the foul. Carl Cirillo, who from time to time writes me with suggestions that you'd like me to pass on regarding some of your color commentary, John. We'll get Get to that at a later date. Carlos out there with pen and pencil, taking notes. Richmond is fouled. Called on Hopper. We're down to 8:34 remaining in this fourth quarter. The Knicks with a 79-71 lead. It's a non-shooting foul. That's 3 on Hopper. Lionel Simmons back on the floor, inbounds. Here's Mitch Richmond for 3. Herb Williams now being utilized along with Patrick Ewing, something we've rarely seen this season. So Williams, Smith, and Ewing, a very big front line for the Knicks. Ewing coming up short.
Patrick has changed his repertoire offensively as he's going to the basket more now.
Spud Webb. Holden Polynice and Webb. What ball movement? Simmons couldn't hit. Rebounded by Michael Smith. Charles Smith got a piece of it. Crowd looking for a foul. They felt that Charles Smith made contact on Michael Smith. Instead, it'll be Sacramento ball. They have 21 on the shot clock.
Gotta like it when officials don't take the movement that looks like it's a foul and automatically blows the whistle. I mean, they're there. They're close to the scene. A lot of those situations are not fouls.
John Starks back on the floor. It's been a very strong defensive effort by the Knicks. A host of deflections. Have to see the hand-checking situation here in the fourth quarter where the Knicks have really been hurt. Not able to play the kind of defense they did last season and the last couple of years in the fourth quarter, which has prevented the comebacking type situations that we saw in recent years. And a foul is called on Sacramento. Loose ball foul. It's on Olden Polynice. That is his third. Ala Abdelnaby checking in for the first time, and he replaces Michael Smith. Ala Abdelnaby, who has been shooting very well in his limited activity. Former Boston Celtic, Portland Trailblazer, Milwaukee Buck. Traveling violation. So the ball back to the Kings.
I think we just saw Charles Smith give himself a noogie on that. He was very disappointed in his play and gave himself a little smack on the head, which he deserved, according to Charles.
Knicks have an 8-point lead. 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Foul on Smith. So that's 4 on Charles, and it puts the Knicks over the limit. This is our special noogie replay. There it is. Dykens smart, as you know.
Yeah, not that one, though. That was very light. That was for the cameras, I think.
Spud Webb on the line.
Spud, you know you've got to keep your feet at the foul line. Oh, Spud 34 of 34 this season, and we caught the miss. Now he kept his footing. See, the last one he did, he flipped it up and then walked away. He lost that follow-through effect.
79-72. The Knicks with the lead. They've led most of the way. Sparks for Ewing. Patrick Ewing with the emphatic stuff. And the Knicks lead by 9.
Sensational pass from John Starks.
Abdelnaby guarded by Ewing. Down at 6 on the 24. Richmond. Starks trying to draw the foul. Mitch Richmond. He has 19 points, and the Knicks lead is 7.
We just saw evidence of the below-the-waist power of a player. That's how Richmond got rid of John Starks.
Ewing lost it, lost the dribble. Richmond. Polynice trying to back tap. Good play by Ewing to get to the ball. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Again, the entry pass Starks. Ewing was stripped. Last touch by the Kings. John Starks making a conscious effort to feed Patrick Ewing. Starks has 9 assists.
This holiday, you can get a great deal on the Eagle Vision, and here to tell you more about it is greeting card writer Rick Dennis. Rick?
Vision's great. Dual airbags, 4-wheel disc brakes, and a powerful V6.
Yeah, wouldn't you say Eagle's a joy in many ways?
Sure. Can't believe the great lease price.
Give me a little something here, like a source of glee and happiness for each and every day.
No doubt. But time on this deal's running out.
That's the best you can do? Can I get you a thesaurus or something?
Both the new Chase Cash Builder Visa and the Discover card give you cash back. But only Cash Builder consistently gives you 1% back on purchases, 10% back on interest, is accepted at 11 million places, and has no annual fee. Once you've used Cash Builder, you'll see there's nothing left to discover. Call 1-800-CHASE to apply. Chase Manhattan. Profit from the experience.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late. So exactly what'll I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold, 8-hour presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
It's time for the Coca-Cola Classic play. Moments ago, we'll take a look and a listen. Sounds like fun out there, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Knicks with an 81-74 lead. And Ewing is fouled. There's no question about the intent of the Knicks here in the fourth quarter. It is to pound it down inside to Patrick Ewing, and the Knicks are doing it effectively. So Ewing to the line. For the over the last 3 games, Patrick Ewing back up to the numbers he's used to producing at 26 a game. His field goal percentage right up there. Tonight, Patrick with a very solid all-around game. The Knicks right now are 5 out of 6 here in the third quarter, while the Kings are 4 out of 11. 5.5 remaining in this fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, as I intended to say, Marv.
Abdul Nabi, strong move by Ala Abdul Nabi. That's his first field goal, and the Knicks are up 83-76. Brian Grant getting set to check back in. Ewing, and the rebound handled by Polynice. Mary St. Jean going with Lionel Simmons on the floor here down the stretch. Abdul Nabi way off. Lionel in his first game of the season missed the entire preseason, and the first 19 games of the regular season coming back from the knee surgery.
Knicks shooting at 48% now for the game.
Good look by Hoffer, and Ewing fouled by Abdul Nabi. Ewing will go back to the line. This is Brian Grant, who has had an outstanding night, 8 of 12 on the field, 17 points. And he's replaced Lionel Simmons, who leads with 3 points. Ewing is 5 for 6 at the line.
Knicks in perfect position right now, but they must retain their intensity.
Knicks will move on to face the Phoenix Suns tomorrow night in Phoenix. Knicks game night at 7:30. Earlier starting game. Game time at 8 o'clock New York time. And then Sunday night, the Knicks play at Portland before returning to the Garden for the Nets on Tuesday. And then Cleveland next Thursday.
Bob, we're also anxious to get to Phoenix. We're going to take a plane tomorrow morning at 6:45. broadcast crew, radio and TV, were dying to get there.
Mike Webb. And back comes Harper for Starks. And Gary Benson indicating that, let's see, the rim was grabbed. He's talking with Joe Crawford. So the officials conferring. Here's another look at it.
John Starks going up for that shot. The officials discussing the effect of what appeared to be a player hanging on the rim or slapping the backboard.
Technical foul on all Abdelnaby for grabbing the rim and attempting to block a shot.
Call against
Grab the rim,
Abdelnaby for grabbing the rim.
Keep the time to go.
Abdelnaby discussing the call. He's been called for a technical for grabbing the rim. Starks shooting the technical. And it's a 10-point lead for the Knicks. And now they're saying a jump ball will follow. That was the initial indication, but well, apparently another technical foul has been called. We're going to check out the now apparently it has been a technical foul on Spud Webb. Okay, so Webb argued and was hit with a tee, and now the jump ball. So the Knicks with an 87-76 lead off consecutive technical fouls called on Abdelnaby for grabbing the rim and then Webb for arguing the call. Harper. We're down to 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Richmond unleashes the three. Met by Webb. Starks with a quick release. Ewing. And the Knicks get a new 24.
Patrick showing a lot of patience, pitching it back out, then getting it back from Harper.
And the Knicks have opened up an 89-76 lead. The Kings call for time.
Jet fans, get all the late-breaking team news, features, and highlights on the only show of its kind. Nobody Beats the Wiz Jets Journal right here on MSG.
New York Institute of Technology, the college where great careers begin. Over 60 majors for undergraduate, graduate, and adult students. Small classes, personal attention, and state-of-the-art technology. 3 convenient locations on Long Island, scenic Old Westbury, and residential campus at Islip, and our Manhattan campus near Lincoln Center. Call 1-800-345-NYIT. That's 1-800-345-NYIT.
Ever going to see a national championship playoff system to determine a true national champion of college football? What about the Heisman Trophy balloting? Who should have won this year? So many issues to talk about in the college game, and we'll do that next on Page 1 with Keith Jackson, the veteran ABC TV play-by-play announcer, and Chuck Ninus, head of the CFA. Hope you can join us right here again on Page 1.
Solid game for John Starks tonight. 6 out of 12 from the field. He's gotten his points, and it's even more impressive when you look at what Mitch Richmond has done to big-time opponents that he's been playing against lately. Look at the season average of Jim Jackson, 28-6, held to 17. On down the list, a lot of the outstanding two guards in the NBA have been shut down by Mitch Richmond, but not John Starks tonight.
And the foul on Starks. That's 4 on Starks. We're down to 2 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
John Starks got the worst of that play. You can see him holding his mouth.
15 points for Walt Williams.
Clyde Drexler, Latrell Sprewell, Dan Marley, Jeff Malone, the outstanding scorers in the NBA have been held way down, way down. In fact, 2 of the last 3 games were wins for the Kings over Golden State, and Richmond's gotten his 27 a game while holding his man down.
Williams hit the second free throw. The Knicks now lead 89-78. Basket won't count. Offensive foul. Illegal pick called on Ewing. The Knicks 6 of 10 here in the fourth, and the Kings 5 of 16 from the field. Here's Grant. Stopped by Ewing. It's been a very strong defensive effort by the Knicks against a revitalized Sacramento Kings ball club. This will be very disappointing for the Kings, who are looking for a win against another quality team. They come up with wins in 5 of the last 6 games. Grant called for the foul. A record of 11-8. And they're facing Phoenix on Saturday night at Phoenix. So there's a lot of enthusiasm leading into this game with the thought that, hey, we can pick up a win against a club like the Knicks. And for the Knicks, it is early season, but a very important ball game. What with all that has been swirling around this ball club, the John Starks shooting problems, Hubert Davis not able to get going earlier today. Doc Rivers, Wade, Charles Oakley out of the starting lineup because of the toe problem. Anthony Mason starting and played very well. Here's Grant, and it's tipped home by Connings.
You mentioned Oakley, Marv. That's as impressive an aspect of this game for the Knicks as anything, and that is that they have dominated the boards here tonight against the Kings without Charles Oakley.
91-80 the score. Knicks by 11. They've led by as many as 13 as they did just a moment ago. Starks for Ewing, and an offensive foul is called. Ewing called for pushing out as he made his move. That's 4 on Ewing with 1:38 remaining.
Patrick looked like he wanted to go up and dump that ball, and as a result pushed off.
Richmond on the drive, and he's fouled.
All right, I just want to report, in case you haven't noticed, that we have some very obnoxious fans here in Arco Arena.
Yes, we do.
And they're too close to us.
Yes. So Mitch Richmond to the free throw line. He's 3 of 4 at the line.
8 out of 21 from the field for Mitch Richmond. Who would have believed it the way the game started, you know?
It was Mitch Richmond starting out isolating against John Starks, having success in the early moments as the Kings kept going back to Richmond in the one-on-one moves. Knocked out of bounds by Webb. But Sacramento not able to sustain it. John Starks hit several from the outside. Anthony Mason. Charles Smith did the job up front. Patrick Ewing came on in the second half. And the Knicks now lead by 9, and they play the clock. Starks, that was a 3-point attempt. We come up on a minute remaining in the fourth quarter. And Williams' pass thrown out of bounds. Richmond was looking for a downtown territory.
Always get a kick out of looking at a coach's reaction to a play like that. I looked at Gary St. Jean, and he just very encouraging, clapped his hands. He accepted that imperfection very nicely by his team.
Down to 50 seconds to go in the fourth. Williams for 3.
The Sacramento Kings have ended their offensive attack tonight. I mean, it's all over for them. For the last couple of minutes now, they just can't make a hoop.
Nice pass from Mason. Patrick Ewing with 27 points. Ewing also with 18 rebounds. Foul on Smith with 18 seconds remaining. But the Knick philosophy in the fourth quarter was a single-minded that to get the ball down to Patrick Ewing. You mentioned the outside shots early, but that changed. They were pounding it inside, and the Knicks were able to take advantage.
Patrick also changed. He started going to the hoop.
Knicks with a 93-84 lead. 15 seconds to go in the game. Here's Ewing giving it up. Down to 5 seconds. And that will do it. Oh, a foul call just before the final buzzer. A grab by Grant will put Smith at the line with 1 8/10 seconds to go.
Marv, we were covering the very important subject of birthdays before, and I think it's only appropriate to include the man we left out because of the action of the game, and that is Anthony Mason. Turned 28 yesterday, and we'd like to pass along a happy birthday to Anthony.
You've been hanging around Phil Rizzuto recently?
No, I've never met the Scooter, Marv.
I could see you and the Scooter getting along extremely well.
That's right. We're going to save Charles Oakley's birthday, which is Sunday, to tomorrow night's game, so we won't talk about that now.
94-84 Knicks, a very happy ball club as they head back to the locker room. With Phoenix and Portland ahead, this was one they wanted badly. The Knicks with a 94-84 win here in Sacramento to turn it from the loss at home against Miami on Monday, and the Knicks are now 12-7. So they're 3.5 behind Orlando, and I think that picture tells the story. That is a rare victory smile at this stage of the season for Pat Riley. Sacramento Kings fall to 11-9. We'll be back with the recap right after these words.
And remember,
sinks $100 into my foundation, helping high school kids.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
And John Starr.
Get nationwide delivery on Sealy Posturepedic, Certa-Perfect Sleeper, and Simmons Beauty Rest at low warehouse prices. Dial a mattress, 1-800-MATTRES.
To get noticed, show up in leather. To get leather, show up here. Wilson's, the leather experts. All coats shown on sale, $149.99.
Back in Sacramento, the Knicks have defeated the Kings 94-84 in the first of 2 meetings between these clubs. And for the Knicks, a very fine way to start off the 3-game road trip. Pat Riley just delighted as the Knicks end up shooting just under 46% from the field. A strong defensive effort. John Starks finding the touch, ending up with 19 points. He ended up 6 of 14 from the field. He hit some jump shots early, did get back into it. Also had 9 assists with the Knicks looking to set up Patrick Ewing, and Starks feeding him on a number of occasions. So John Starks with a very solid all-around game as we check out the leading scorer summary, brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Patrick Ewing, 27 points and a season high of 18 rebounds. As I mentioned, John Starks with 19, Charles Smith 16 points. Anthony Mason, starting for the injured Charles Oakley, had 14 points and 7 rebounds. For the Sacramento Kings, Mitch Richmond, the high point man, although shot only 8 of 21 in his 41 minutes. 21 points for Richmond. Walt Williams, 6 of 12 from the field. He had 19 points. Rookie Brian Grant, 8 of 15 in his 24 minutes for 17, and Spud Webb with 10 points. When we come back, John will be talking with one of tonight's Knick heroes, John Starks. We'll be back in Sacramento in a moment.
Both the new Chase Cash Builder Visa and the Discover card give you cash back. But only Cash Builder consistently gives you 1% back on purchases, 10% back on interest, is accepted at 11 million places, and has no annual fee. Once you've used Cash Builder, you'll see there's nothing left to discover. Call 1-800-CHASE to apply. Chase Manhattan. Profit from the experience.
When you read the New York Times, people think you like to read about international diplomacy and leading indicators, when in fact, a lot of
should check the Sports Stadium map in the 9X Yellow Pages. 9X. More information, more solutions, more stuff. Shop to win in the Discover Card Big Payback. That's what Richard and Rebecca Davis did. They just won 50 grand in our weekly bonus prize drawing. You could be a winner too. Every time you use your card, you're automatically entered in the Big Payback. So keep shopping, because we'll be dropping more $50,000 bonus prizes before the ultimate $1 million grand prize. It pays to discover. The card with the Big Payback.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Better than the last time, Tony?
Absolutely. It's my job to make sure people look good. A few weeks ago, while doing test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. You see, regular shampoos merely rinse flakes away, so they could come back. But look, Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes from even forming. You see the difference? Yeah, picture perfect. Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
Oops, excuse me, pardon me. Oops, coming through. Oops, out of my way. Alley, oops, NBA Live 95, EA Sports.
All right, the Knicks with a 94-84 win over the Sacramento Kings. And as we mentioned, John Starks with a first-grade all-around performance. Nice setup by Starks for Mason. And John is alongside John Andres. Here's John.
Thank you, Marv. John, after this game, do you have a sense of relief, as many of your fans in New York do?
Yeah, I just wanted to come out and play very hard. You know, no matter what, you know, just play very hard, and whatever happens, happens.
The story is that you took the game tape of Game 7 home over the last couple of days and viewed it. What were you thinking about that? What were you trying to find out?
Well, I just had to get Game 7 out of my mind. And I think, you know, it helped me a lot, you know, coming out preparing for this game. Because, you know, I was just thinking about it, you know, when I'm missing shots, you know, Game 7 clicks on me in my head. And so I just had to watch it and get it out of my mind. That's the first time I viewed it, you know, since the game.
What did you find by looking at it? Some errors in your shooting form or what?
No, just get it out of my mind. Just get it out of my mind. Simple as that, you know. I've been fighting with it, you know, all summer long and try to run from it. And like I said, when you run for something for so long, it's going to catch up to you, and finally caught up to me. So I just had to get it out of my mind.
You throw the tape away?
No.
Well, hopefully for John Starks, you won't need it now for a while. John, the game tonight, tremendous all-around effort by the team. What did you feel that the Knicks did tonight that they haven't been doing lately?
We hit the boards. Everybody hit the boards. Everybody made a concerted effort to, you know, get off the ground. And, you know, Patrick did a great job. I didn't know how many rebounds he ended up with, but he did a great job of controlling the boards, and that gave us the opportunity to get out and run.
18 for a season high for Patrick, 18 big rebounds. This Sacramento team had your respect, didn't it, coming in?
It did. You know, we viewed the tape before the game and watched how they played against Seattle. This is a team who plays very hard, and they never give up. So we knew what was in store for us coming in here. We knew we just couldn't walk in here and expect to win.
John, what were your personal feelings about the release of Doc Rivers today?
You know, this is a business, and I feel bad for Doc as well as my teammates feel bad for Doc. You know, we'd like to have him around for the whole season, but, you know, this is a business and things happen. I talked to Doc before we came over here, and, you know, he, you know, is ready to move on, you know, so to speak. I think, you know, he understands that this is a business and things do happen, but he said just for us to keep playing and not worry about it.
Is the team, has the team been shaken up somewhat by Pat Riley's remarks recently that the roster is going to be thinned down, a lot of focus on the backcourt? Do you get a sense that there will be a lot of changes in coming days or weeks?
Well, I'm not sure. You know, we just have to wait and see, and whatever happens, happens, you know. But we understand when we come out on the court as a team, we have to go out there and do the job. And, you know, we can't worry about the business aspect of this game. You know, we just have to go out there and take care of our business out there on the floor.
You mentioned rebounding, a big difference in the game tonight, and one of the other focuses, of course, has been Pat Riley's disappointment with the team defense. What do you feel the team did so well tonight as they performed, as you all performed on defense?
Well, we helped each other, I thought. We did a great job when our man, you know, beat us off the dribble or what have you. You know, the help was coming, and we didn't give them a lot of good looks at the basket. So, you know, that was an encouraging sign that, you know, we're back to playing aggressive defense, and, you know, we just have to keep it going come tomorrow.
Talking about tomorrow, John, the very tough Phoenix Suns, the best in the West these days. Are you looking forward to that, and do you feel the team now can go in there in a very up frame of mind?
I think we can. We understand what type of team Phoenix is. They're a team that's very quick. They're not very big, so, you know, Patrick should have a field day down there. Hopefully we can control the tempo and not get into a running game with them. You know, that's what they look for, teams to come in there and get into a running game where they can get their fans into the game. So we have to control the tempo and not let them get off to a good start.
John, thanks for the visit tonight. Welcome back into the good shooting territory once again, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Well, thanks a lot, John.
John Starks is back in the fold in the offensive end of things, and now let's get back to Marv Albert.
All right, John, and John Starks with 19 points tonight, a major factor in that Knicks victory over the Sacramento Kings. The Knicks 94 and the Kings 84 here at Arco Arena, Sacramento. Tomorrow night, the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns. Knicks game night will get it going at 7:30 and game time at 8 o'clock right here on the MSG Network. That closes out our game portion of the broadcast. The Knicks postgame report is coming up, and that will include the Pat Riley postgame news conference. Madison Square Garden announcers clothing is provided by Perry Ellis Menswear. Marv Albert with John Andres from Sacramento will be back with the Knicks postgame report in just a moment.
New York Knicks basketball has been brought to you by Ice Draft. Taste the future of draft beer. New ice brewed Ice Draft from Budweiser. By Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp. Turns dandruff problems into great looking hair. By AT&T International Business Services. Let AT&T work for you. By the Discover Card, the card with the big payback. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
See the Madison Square Garden debut of fabulous St. John's freshman Felipe Lopez. Sendon Hamilton and Tariq Turner at the Chemical Bank ECAC Holiday Festival. Joining the Red Storm are defending Ivy League champion Penn, local Power Manhattan, and Colgate with top scorer Tucker Neal and freshman sensation Donald Foyle. Catch semifinal doubleheader action on December 27th, followed by the championship doubleheader on December 29th. The Chemical Bank ECAC Holiday Festival, presented by Model Sporting Goods and brought to you by Apex and Shark. Get tickets now.
Imagine something new to do this Christmas. A Christmas Carol. The smash hit that critics are calling the biggest, most colorful musical in New York. Joel Siegel raves, wow, it's a spectacular Christmas feast. A classic. And Pat Collins cheers, if you're looking for holiday magic is here. A Christmas Carol. Through January 1st only at the Paramount Madison Square Garden. Call Ticketmaster today. Proudly presented by Nobody Beats the Wiz.
The New York Knicks postgame report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Welcome back to Arco Arena in Sacramento. Fans still filing out after the Knicks 94-84 win over the Sacramento Kings. The Knicks have now won 5 straight against the Kings and 10 of the last 11. They'll meet again at Madison Square Garden in late February. John Starks a moment ago making reference to the job that the Knicks did off the boards. A look at the final stats. The Knicks shooting 46% and the Kings at 42%. Look at the Kings, 1 of 11 from downtown. Many of those attempts, though, in the final minutes in an effort to get back into it. And the Knicks out-rebounded the Kings 44-36, led by Patrick Ewing, who had the season high of 18.
How about that assist column, too? Only 10 for the Kings, which shows you that their one-on-one offense was just that. They were not getting good passing like the Knicks were with their 24 assists.
Yes, 9 assists for Starks, 4 apiece for Harper, Mason, and Smith to add up to the 24. We'll be back in Sacramento after we take this break.
The New York Knicks postgame report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Is someone special expecting something special from you? Don't disappoint them. Send it express mail. Overnight delivery starting at just $9.95. Even on Christmas Day. Express mail from your post office.
I live in Westchester. I'm originally from Manhattan, but when our son was born, I became a commuter. The city can be hard. You have to give a little more to last there. Like this new health plan, Healthies from Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield. It comes with a personal health advisor. I call, and a registered nurse will answer my health questions. Well, extras like that help explain why Empire's been in New York for over 50 years. So this Healthies plan seems all right, you know? Come on, this is New York. It better be good.
Your new Mercedes E-Class. What will it see in its long life? Will it see the government finally balance the budget? Will it see hologram billboards in the sky? Will it see Woodstock 3 hosted by Tony Bennett? And will it see the end of the 14-year-old baseball strike? One thing's for sure, you'll have a nice shiny car to take your grandkids to the ballpark.
Visit your authorized Tri-State Mercedes-Benz dealer for a test drive today.
Okay, the shot's set, everyone's smiling, and then no flash. Next time, use Energizer batteries that nobody beats the whiz. They just keep on going.
Guests receive the American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal certificate that can be used to buy anything just about anywhere. Gift checks are available where American Express traveler's checks are sold. Guests also receive gifts by Carl Kanai. Inspired by the streets of Brooklyn, Carl Kanai footwear is available at Dr. J's. Recognize the collection that symbolizes unity and power, Carl Kanai. Tonight's guests also receive dinner for two at Martini's Restaurant, located at 53rd and 7th Avenue, an Italian trattoria with New York City's largest outdoor cafe, another fine Reese restaurant. And some of our guests receive a watch from Fendi. The 900 series, registered Italian design, finely crafted in Switzerland with a quartz movement for precision timekeeping. Water resistant to 165 feet. The Fendi Timepiece Collection, available at Macy's and other fine department and jewelry stores.
For the New York Knicks, a successful start to the 3-game Western swing with the victory here in Sacramento tonight. Now, as we mentioned, Pat Riley's post-game news conference.
A long time from beginning to end. From a defensive standpoint, played against a very good, effort team, energetic team, and did the things we had to do defensively to win. And Patrick was really awesome from a scoring and rebounding, shot blocking standpoint. So it's just a good, solid win.
Talk about the Kings D and how did you think they performed?
Well, I thought both teams played hard. It was a low-scoring game. And we're the most improved teams in the league defensively. They play real hard. But there was a resolve on our part tonight that we haven't had for a while, and so we're trying to take a huge step forward and get back to our game. This is just one game. We got a tough game tomorrow night, and we want to stay focused.
What about John? John's play.
I thought John played a great floor game. He played a very alert game. He made some great passes, and we put a few wrinkles in to try to free him up on some things. He got open a lot. But they make good decisions.
Pat, what were your thoughts behind starting?
He's a starter. And, that's where he is. That's where he belongs. And but I was just encouraged by his overall game, not just the fact that he scored well tonight, but his overall game was as good as it's been. He concentrated well on playing the game and did a good job, I thought, defensively.
Pat, just for tomorrow night, is there any indication on Oak?
I'm not sure, Fred. It's day to day. It's really bothering him, so we'll find out tomorrow on that.
Was he okay in shoot around this morning?
He hadn't practiced the last 3 days. Okay. So he tried to go the other day and it's sore. He tried to go a little bit yesterday, but it's just too sore. I thought Herb played some big minutes, gave us a little different look. Had some real size out there. And so we were able to, hold that fort.
What do you think of Brian Gansky?
Very, very athletic player. He's a good rookie.
That also Mason seemed to give you.
I thought we had a good overall game. I think everybody made positive contributions. We tried to get the matchup that we wanted on Walt Williams when we could. Polynice started on Charles, and we went to Mace a couple of times. We did a good job defensively. I think our defense individually tonight was as good as it's been. We didn't panic on post-ups with the twos. The only thing we emphasize is to try to get guys that take turnaround jumpers in those isolated situations and not get to the basket so much. So we didn't break our defense down and limited them really to one shot, I think, most of the time.
Is there anything about the decision to release Doc Rivers?
Well, we had to make a decision somewhere.
Well, as Pat Riley said, mentioning defense as good as it's been on an individual basis, we were touching on that throughout the telecast, and there were some sequences where we were looking at Knick defense in the same manner that we saw it the last couple of years.
Without the holding and the fouling, and they really played a very up game compared to where they were the last couple of days, and really showed Pat Riley, a response to Pat Riley, I would say, despite all the drama that has been surrounding the Knicks of late.
I'll leave you with this, John, a final score. This is the advantage of being out here on the West Coast. We see these West Coast scores. Golden State continues to have just a horror show. They lose their 8th in a row. They lost to the Clippers 89-82. This is with Don Nelson's son coaching on an interim basis.
D-O-N-N, right?
D-O-double-N, Nelson. The Clippers 89 and Golden State 82.
I want to know what's going on with Malik Sealy, who's now a regular 20-point scorer for the Clippers. It's nice to see after all his frustrations.
Another good one, 22 tonight for Sealy, leading the way as the Clippers win their 3rd of the season. We'll be back for a final word from Sacramento in a moment.
To get noticed, show up in leather. To get leather, show up here. Wilson's, the leather experts. All coats shown on sale, $149.99.
New York
York Institute of Technology, the college where great careers begin. Over 60 majors for undergraduate, graduate, and adult students. Small classes, personal attention, and state-of-the-art technology. 3 convenient locations on Long Island, scenic Old Westbury, and residential campus at Islip, and our Manhattan campus near Lincoln Center. Call 1-800-345-NYIT. That's 1-800-345-NYIT.
Success on Wall Street depends on what you know. For astute investors, Standard & Poor's Stock Guide is the first place to look for investment opportunities. This 268-page monthly guide gives you essential facts you can't get from any other single source. 44 items of information on more than 5,400 stocks. You get a detailed financial picture of each company, current and historical price ranges, dividend data, earnings per share, quarterly sales, earnings forecasts, S&P stock ranking, and much more. Plus extensive performance data on over 700 mutual funds. Get S&P Stock Guide, the first place to look for investment opportunities. Call 1-800-285-8300 and get 6 monthly issues at this money-saving price, only $49.95, a real savings off the regular subscription price. Call 1-800-285-8300 and have your credit card ready.
If you're a young, goal-oriented individual and you're looking for a secure financial future, Vision Investment Group is the answer. Vision Investment Group is looking for hardworking professionals with the desire to control their financial future. After a 90-day training period, you'll be a top-notch salesman and a fully licensed stockbroker. Last year, the average broker made $128,000. This could be you. Vision Investment Group, the answer to a positive financial future. Call 516-249-2900.
Time for the ice draft dunk of the game. Derek Harper on the move, penetrating move inside to Patrick Ewing, who executes the ice draft dunk of the game.
And for Ewing, 2 of his 27 points to go along with 18 rebounds. One of the keys to the Knicks 92-84 win over the Sacramento Kings here in Sacramento. Tomorrow night, game 2 of this Western Swing against Charles Barkley, Danny Manning, and the Phoenix Suns. 8 o'clock New York time for game time on the MSG Network. Knicks game night at 7:30. Coming up, NBA action joined in progress right here on MSG. This is Marv Albert with John Andres saying so long from Sacramento, California.
Guests receive the American Express.
I was praying one day and I said, I want to be one of the greatest basketball players ever. And I guess my mother and father gave me good genes and good blood.
And an unstoppable weapon, which Elvin Hayes used to overwhelm opponents in the NBA trenches for 16 seasons.
When it came down to the nitty-gritty part, it was the turnaround jumper, and he always turned the wrong way.
Though the shot may have been unorthodox, the result was an automatic 2.
He was just amazing that he was just so quick at getting it off.
For defenders, playing D on the Big E was not easy.
He was so tough. The only way I could stop him at all was to play in front of him and not let him get the ball, because when he got the ball, there was no way I could stop him.
Devastating the opposition, Hayes was a force that could not be reckoned with.
When he made up his mind to destroy somebody, that person didn't have much of a chance.
While the powerful Hayes conjured up images of heavy artillery, there was another big man, sharpshooting Bob McAdoo, whose gunslinging exploits as a Buffalo Brave in the 1970s made him the most feared jump shooter in the land. Gunning his way to 3 consecutive scoring titles and a Most Valuable Player award, this notorious marksman packed up his holster and took his act on the road. And quickly, it became clear that at every stop, McAdoo was not bashful about unleashing his seemingly endless supply of ammunition. Eventually, this gun for hire would travel west to play for the Los Angeles Lakers.
It's kind of like the program that used to be on TV, The Fugitive. I kind of felt like that.
McAdoo continued to prove he was virtually indefensible, providing unlimited firepower off the bench for 2 championship teams.
When you look at him and you watch him practice and watch him play, you say to yourself, my goodness, you can't stop this guy from scoring. He was an incredible matchup headache for other teams' top defensive players.
Many a scorer like Bob McAdoo has ridden off into the sunset, having left his mark on NBA history. But there has never been a player like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, nor a weapon like the lethal Sky Hook that has had such a profound impact on the record books.
You know, Kareem Skyhook is, to me, synonymous with the cruise missile. You know, I mean, there's only one of them, and that's the most incredible, unique shot in the history of the NBA.
It was the kind of shot that had a way of humbling even the worthiest of opponents.
He presented to me for the first time in my career of basketball a guy that I felt that I really needed some help to guard.
I remember my rookie year, you know, he averaged like 40-some points on me. And I started to say, fellas, you know, eventually I'm going to need some help on this guy.
Coach said, you got him. Who, me? Yeah, you got him. So I got on him and I was guarding 40 points. Skyhook, 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 Skyhook. I went home that night, I was in the bed. Skyhook, Skyhook. Scared for the Skyhook.
While it was a nightmare for most, the Skyhook was the sweetest of dreams for Kareem, who spent his entire career perfecting his inimitable shot.
A lot of people aren't that familiar with it and don't take the time to learn how to shoot it. And I guess, you know, the jump shot looks prettier to the girls or something.
It has been called the ultimate weapon in sports and the primary force behind Kareem's assault on the all-time scoring record.
And the fans love it. Magic right side. Kareem post up. They go to Kareem. Kareem backs here. Hook shot. It's up. It's good. It's good. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 31,420 points. And he did it with a shot that has carried him all his career. A sky hook shot.
It's like a religion with me. I believe in myself. I'm there for me. I believe in the ball. The ball is there for me. I believe in the court, but I just can't find the court. I have a ball, and I'm here. I just can't find my court. I know it's out there somewhere.
I think he's going to be okay for the time before us, now, and 20 years down the line. He's going to be something that people look at and say, he's unbelievable.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win!
The Dallas Mavericks. Entering the NBA draft after his junior year, the Mavericks would make him their #1 pick. But as the losses piled up, Jamal's rookie season in Dallas collapsed into what he now calls the biggest disappointment of his life.
Everybody was sad last year. It was pathetic in here last year, even for the fans and for myself. I mean, nobody enjoyed basketball. Nobody enjoyed watching it. And, you know, this year it's just a totally different. I mean, we've done a 180-degree turn, really. I mean, it's like night and day, really.
After coming away with just 13 victories in 1994, the upstart Mavs have become the Cinderella story of the young NBA season, and their winning ways have Jamal Mashburn smiling again.
It means a lot. It means I can go out to restaurants and hold my head high, you know, and it means I don't have to answer the question, what would happen, you know, and it means everything. And winning basketball games for me is most important.
The return of an old face on the sidelines and a new face in the backcourt have fueled the Mavericks' stunning turnaround and their best start in 6 years.
You got a fast break, don't stop, run the play.
Dick Monter's my MVP. He's my vote for MVP. If somebody was give out a ballot, He'll be my MVP.
I tried to sell the fact to him that I've coached some great small forwards. Bob Love, Chet Walker, Bobby Dandridge, Mark McGuire, Sam Perkins. And he had, in my opinion, a complete package, and I challenged him to deliver.
And thanks to the deliveries of rookie point guard Jason Kidd, Jamal and Jimmy Jackson are both thriving as the highest scoring tandem in the NBA.
He makes my job a lot easier because for someone who wants the ball, who can catch it, and also finish, I mean, you can't find too many players like that, and he can do it all.
Oh, a spectacular move by Mansburg. Rejuvenated and reborn, Jamal and the Mavericks are burying the past and charting their course for the future with a brand new attitude.
Last year, we worried more or less about the other team a whole lot. This year, we'll worry about our offense and what we have to do. That's how we look at it this year. We have a lot of confidence.
And after scoring a franchise record 50 points in a win over the Bulls, Mashburn and the Mavs have served notice that they're for real.
Say go New York.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson with an update from the sports desk. Coming up tonight at 8, the Knicks will square off against Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns. But just ahead, Mike Crispino will stand by with Knicks game night. Well, after waiving Doc Rivers and Ronnie Grandison yesterday, the Knicks make another move today as they reactivate first-round draft pick Charlie Ward from the injured list. And after a disappointing loss to Cleveland on Wednesday, the Nets hit the road as they take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Target Center. Minnesota is winless this year at home. Giants placed rookie wide receiver Thomas Lewis on the injured reserve list after undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery. And the team also announced that John Booty will start at free safety in place of Jesse Campbell, who also has a sprained knee. And injuries aside, Dan Reeves knows that if this team wants to make the playoffs, this is a must-win.
The fact that they're still alive, they're the same record that we are, that one of the teams is going to be eliminated. When you get to that point, you know, there's nothing held back by any team. So we've just got to go in there knowing that they've got their back to the wall, and we've got to play the same way with our back to the wall and saying, hey, this is do or die, because really this it's over if we don't win this game.
The Oklahoma Sooners have a new head football coach. 60-year-old Howard Schnellenberger becomes the Sooners head man. Schnellenberger comes over from Louisville. He also won the national championship with the Miami Hurricanes. And it looks like another former Miami coach has decided to stay in the broadcast booth. According to reports, Jimmy Johnson will not coach next year, and he's prepared to sign a new 3-year deal with the Fox network. Well, still to come, the Knicks square off against the Suns, but just up next, it's Mike Crispino with Knicks Game Night. Stay with us.
Next on Knicks Game Night, a sigh of relief for Riley as the Knicks bounce back at Sacramento. Peter Bessie joins us for the latest on Rivers, Gugliotta, and Oakley. We'll hear from Suns coach Paul Westphal. Could he be the next former player to win a ring as a coach? Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Knicks Game Night. I'm Mike Crispino here in our New York studios. Tonight is the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns from the America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. As you take a look at it, the Suns have played very well there this year and, in fact, have a 20-game winning streak going dating back to last year. The Knicks are hoping to make it back-to-back wins on the road and keep pace with Orlando, of course, in the Atlantic Division. Now, they face a difficult task. The Suns and the Magic are the only two teams with unblemished records at home so far this season. The Knicks, meanwhile, had to travel right after last night's game with the Kings down to Arizona and face the intensity of a Phoenix crowd less than 24 hours after a game. At least the Knicks are coming off a positive effort at Sacramento last night, a 10-point victory earned without Charles Oakley in the lineup. The Knicks allowed just 84 points, their second-best defensive effort of the season. And Anthony Mason stepped in for Charles Oakley and did a nice job at the forward position. As Oak watched 15-14, the Knicks were leading by 1. John Starks then hit from 3. He was 3 of his first 4 shots, and the Knicks led at 18-14. Then a nice dish from Derek Harper to Patrick Ewing, and the Knicks opened opened up a 7-point first-quarter lead. In the second, the Kings started the comeback. Michael Smith, one rookie to the other, Brian Grant, who had 17. It was 27-24 on a 10-0 run by Sacramento. Then off a Ewing miss, Mason with a great rebound, back outside, and Starks hits from last year's three-point territory. 12 of his 19 points came in the first half, and he also had 9 assists, finding Anthony Mason crashing down the lane, a 42-38 lead for the Knicks at halftime. Riley knew this was his best chance, perhaps, to win on this road trip, but Mitch Richmond had something to say about it. 21 points for him on 21 shots, though. He tied it up at 49 apiece. Then a sloppy pass, a steal by Charles Smith. Ewing the outlet ahead to Smith, who had 16, and the Knicks opened up a 56-49 lead. John Starks then, nice pass inside of Ewing, 27 points for Patrick. Season-high 18 rebounds, 10 points for him in the final 4:40. Afterwards, John Andres talked to John Starks, who reviewed tape of his Game 7 final collapse earlier.
I had to get Game 7 out of my mind, and I think, you know, it helped me a lot, you know, coming out preparing for this game. Because, you know, I was just thinking about it, you know, when I'm missing shots, you know, Game 7 clicks on me in my head. And so I just had to watch it and get it out of my mind. That's the first time I viewed it, you know, since the game.
What did you find by looking at it? Some errors in your shooting form or what?
No, just get it out of my mind. Just get it out of my mind. Simple as that, you know. I've been fighting with it, you know, all summer long and try to run from it. And like I said, when you run for something for so long, it's going to catch up to you, and finally caught up to me. So I just had to get it out of my mind.
You throw the tape away?
No.
Stark shooting 6 of 14 last night in the win. The Knicks have beaten Sacramento now 5 consecutive times. Now for an update on Oakley's situation and a preview of tonight's game between the Suns and the Knicks. Here's Al Troutwig along with John Andres.
All right, Mike, in Phoenix, everything looks brand new, including the arena, the America West Arena. It's one of the NBA showplaces and, of course, the home in the Valley of the Sun to the Phoenix Suns. And when Charles Oakley has dinner in the press room, you know he is most likely not expected to play. That's the situation tonight as we welcome you, the Knicks, preparing to take on the Phoenix Suns. Hi, everybody. And it was without Charles Oakley last night, John, that the Knicks put in what many people who follow this team say was their best start-to-finish effort of the season.
They were really tough, Al. You know, they got out of that mental funk they were in, and they came to play, and they did it for 48 minutes. They really had a full team effort as well, and they played the complete game on both ends of the court, not only offensively, but most importantly for Pat Riley, defensively. And it was late in the first half that they really turned on the defense. In one particular sequence, Williams couldn't find anybody. Look at Starks harassing him, almost forcing a complete turnover, and he just dogged him down. Even Spud Webb couldn't do anything solid with the basketball. Finally, the ball ends up in the corner for a side jumper, and Anthony Mason all over that loose rebound, and the Knicks really showed how tough they could be once again on defense while holding the Kings to their season low, tying 84 points, and the Kings have been playing very well. They're a big surprise. The Kings only 43% from the field, didn't have a field goal over the last 5-24, and the Knicks out-rebounded the Kings, a big, young, tough team without Charles Oakley.
All right, now tonight it gets a little bit more difficult because the Phoenix Suns have not lost a home game this season, and of course this city cannot get enough of the Suns. Their games that are on television frequently draw 1 out of 3 people who live in this city, and they've done it without, in large part, Kevin Johnson, who's missed 14 games, and Charles Barkley, who's missed 11. So we have a situation where some guys who you'd think would be starting are not, and some guys who you'd think would be coming off the bench are not. And Wesley Person has just been sensational as a rookie.
The rookie has made an incredible impact, which is most unusual. He's an unusual player. How many guys come into the league and all of a sudden fit right in with a team that plays at this level?
That is unusual.
He has been sensational, and Person is an excellent all-around player. Runs the court well, as you see on that jam, but this is what separates him too. He can shoot the jump shot quite comfortably. You see a veteran like Charles Barkley give that ball up so readily with confidence, and he's got reason, as you see, with Person shooting that basketball. Person this year, and playing a little over a half a game, is a double-figure scorer. Is one of their leading scorers at 13 a game. How about 48% from the field and 45% from three-point range? Now, he was the 23rd pick from Auburn in the draft last summer. You can imagine how many general managers are hoping that the owners of their respective teams from maybe 5 to 23 are thinking, why didn't we get him? A lot of people are worried about that.
Hope for forgiveness. All right, so it is Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns again. Charles Oakley out of the Knicks lineup tonight for the New York Knicks. John Starks is in the starting lineup with a new haircut, John. I think he had time today to get that done. We'll be back with our game coverage, of course, a little bit later. When we bring you back to the America West Arena, John Andres will be talking with Paul Westphal, the coach of the very successful 15-5, second best in the NBA, Suns of Phoenix. And Mike Crispino will be talking to Peter Vesey, who's also in attendance at tonight's game. That's next on Knicks Game Night.
All right, thanks very much, Al. I'll tell you what, Willis Reed must be absolutely sick every time he looks in the box scores and sees Wesley Person scoring the kind of points he's scoring for the Phoenix Suns. When we return, Peter Vesey joins us from Phoenix. Stay with us.
Everything should be made of ice cream.
All right, Santa, work with me. Work to the camera.
We worked real hard to get just the right look for our Carvel Santa Claus ice cream cake. Bring one home or try some little elves. Carvel, everything should be made of ice cream. Everything should be made of ice cream.
Oh, Christmas tree, your branches are...
Welcome back to Knicks Game Night. As you can see, Patrick Ewing has had some great success against the Phoenix Suns over the years. We're getting set to go to Phoenix now and talk with Peter Vesey. I guess they're getting in line, the NBA franchises who want a shot at Doc Rivers. According to what Doc has said, almost 11 teams have called him already to find out exactly what he is interested in doing as far as playing in the NBA after the Knicks have waived him. Let's go out there now to Phoenix and talk to Peter Vesey. Peter, what have you heard about Doc Rivers and where might he be going?
Well, my guess is he's going to end up in Orlando. That's been my guess all along. But I just spoke to Steve Kaufman about 20 minutes ago. He happens to be in Indianapolis at this time. And, you know, there's never been such interest for a guy that's been waived at this time of year. Like you said, 11 teams have contacted him, with more probably to come. I mean, good guys are obviously hard to find, and leadership is more difficult than that. I think one of the key teams maybe that he's thinking about, and he has not made up his mind because there are so many alternatives for him, and he can go different places for different things. Obviously, money being one of them. He's probably trying to get another year past next year. But Charlotte also called. Now, he's got a chance to go to either Charlotte with Mourning or with Orlando with Shaquille O'Neal. I just think after talking to Doc during the week that he will take Orlando because he wants to win a championship.
Peter, how serious is Oakley's foot at this point? This is his second missed game in a row. Should he have surgery, do you think, and perhaps try to return for the postseason for this team?
Mike, I just talked with Charles 5 minutes ago, and he told me that he wants to go in for surgery right now. He's not playing, and he doesn't think it's getting better. It hurts. So he says he's leaving it up to the Knicks to decide. I don't know why he's leaving it up to them. He thinks that they're holding back, that they think it's going to cure overnight. He says that's not going to happen. So he prefers to go in for surgery before the holidays.
You know, earlier this week, Peter, Pat Riley talked about having to make roster moves. He lets Doc Rivers go. He also talked about needing to make a trade. Anything brewing out there? I know Lionel Simmons returned to that Sacramento Kings lineup. He's been mentioned before as a possibility in terms of coming to New York.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they've certainly been on the phone. A lot of teams are making them offers, but I don't see them trying to get anybody or close to getting anybody. They're in a very precarious situation. They've got a lot of base year players, and we're not going to explain what that means, but we know it's difficult. Riley talks about trying to get somebody to guard Anthony Hardaway during the playoffs. I'm wondering why he didn't go out and get Pete Myers when he was a free agent. They could have signed him for next to nothing. Tony Smith is probably available out with the Lakers. He doesn't get much time. He's a defensive player. I think if you really want to worry about Hardaway, put Mason on him. I mean, Mason's quick enough to guard him. And, you know, the first game, I thought that Harper did a pretty good job on him. It is a mismatch, but I think you got to live with what you have right now. Go with Mason, go with Bonner if it comes down to it.
One of the positives, Peter, I thought in last night's game was the play of Patrick Ewing, perhaps his finest performance of the year. I know it was against Dwayne Coswell, but he looked like he was really making an effort defensively to help out, deflecting shots, starting fast breaks. Do you think that was his best effort this year?
Well, I think so. I did not watch it. In talking to everybody, I heard he was rebounding ferociously. He was going to the hoop, ripping down rebounds, and he was going to the hoop strong with authority on the offensive end. But people are so impatient, Mike. I mean, this is Patrick Ewing's third operation on his knee, and people expect him to come back at his age and be ready when the season begins after missing training camp. This takes time, and people just have to realize that he can't push off that foot as well as he used to, and he doesn't have the liftoff that he used to have. It's going to take a while.
Listening to your comment about Anthony Mason perhaps covering Anthony Hardaway if it gets to that in the playoffs tells me that you don't think, or you may think, that people have overreacted a little bit to the mismatches the Knicks guards have been facing in the backcourt. Is that true?
Well, I think it is. I mean, first of all, you're not worried about Steve Smith or Glenn Rice posting you up in the playoffs. Their teams might not even be there in the playoffs. So you are worried about Hardaway. But I think you really should be worried about Shaquille O'Neal. And it's a long way, Mike. Again, people have to be patient. This is a team, Orlando, that has not won a playoff game, which is meaningless, obviously. It's a much better team this year than it was last year. But this team is very capable of self-destructing. If Shaquille O'Neal and Anthony Hardaway get into it, if they lose a few games and there's a problem over who gets more shots or gets the key shots or something like that, this team could easily blow up. So it's a long way away.
All right, Peter, thanks very much for joining us from Phoenix. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll see you when you return to New York. All right, Peter Vesey joining us from Phoenix tonight, where the Knicks and the Suns get underway in just a few moments. First, we will have a break, and we'll come back, and we will talk with the coach of the Phoenix Suns, Paul Westphal, when we return.
Get an in-depth look at this year's St. John's team with interviews, features, and great action highlights on Red Storm Rising, Saturday night, right here on MSG. Why are all these people having a great time burning calories in the comfort of their own chair? It's the Comfort One Ski Cycle. Finally, a unique new alternative exercise concept not offered in any store. The Ski Cycle provides dual action, working the upper body with ski-type turning, while defining muscle tone in the lower body with variable resistance. Everyone's using the Ski Cycle, at home, in the office, or on vacation. Don't be a couch potato. Lose weight, firm up, while sitting in your living room. Order a Comfort One Ski Cycle today. The Ski Cycle includes many extras and is compact enough to fit in your closet or car.
I love the Comfort One Ski Cycle.
Now you can enjoy this comfortable workout and invest in good health for the amazing low price of $59.95. Compare this to similar store-priced equipment. Order now by calling 800-748-3731. That's 800-748-3731.
If your engine sounds like this, trade your engine, not your car. Your car can feel like new with a precision remanufactured engine from Motorworks of Westbury and Valley Stream. Our expert technicians will replace your worn-out engine with a factory-tested, remanufactured engine, guaranteed for 12,000 miles. We're the nation's largest chain of engine installation centers. That's all we do. So whether you own a passenger car, van, truck, or commercial vehicle, call for a free price quote to change this into this.
Now you can call toll-free Motorworks of Westbury, 800-NEW-MOTOR. Motorworks of Valley Stream, 800-NEW-ENGINE.
If you're shopping around for a new car, it makes perfect sense to visit the one dealership that displays the most popular brands. Hi, I'm Bob Neisner for all my friends at East Hills Chrysler Jeep in Roslyn. Whether you want to buy or lease a brand new Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep, or Eagle, you're sure to find what you're looking for when you visit East Hills Chrysler Jeep. It's the one place you'll find a complete inventory without disappointment. And when it comes to price, you'll find my friends at East Hills Chrysler Jeep very, very customer friendly.
And welcome back to Knicks Game Night. A formidable task facing the New York Knicks tonight. They are playing a Phoenix Suns team which started the season 2-2 and has played without Charles Barkley much of the way. Now they've won 13 of their last 16 and have a record of 15-5. John Andres is standing by now in Phoenix to talk to the coach of this now very merry band of men, Paul Westphal.
Thank you, Mike. Paul Westphal, a lot of pressure in a sense on the Phoenix Suns this year. You had a terrific year last year. You didn't go all the way, which was expected, and yet you have so many new bodies this year. First question to the coaches, are you making or keeping everybody happy?
Well, I learned from Red Auerbach a long time ago. He said, it's not my job to keep everybody happy. It's their job to keep me happy. And so they're keeping me happy, and in return, we have a great group of guys, and we haven't had any griping about playing time at all. They knew it'd be hard to get playing time when they came here. But guys like Manning and Tisdale, they came here with their eyes open, and really, we can only give time to the guys that earn it, and they understand that, and they're embracing it real well.
Are you at all concerned with Manning's contractual situation right now, thinking that he just might be here for 1 year, or are you expecting him to be long-term?
No, I think that Manning came here with his eyes wide open. He came here because we had a lot of players, and he believes that Jerry Colangelo will take care of him when he can. And I expect him to be here a long time. I don't even really think about it as far as a short-term situation with him.
Paul, the team is so deep now. You've added also Wesley Person, an exciting rookie, and Wayman Tisdale. You have to feel that you're better than last year, but that may not necessarily be true with the integrating of the new players. Assuming that you do feel that your team is better, you're leading the West now, how are you better than last year?
Well, I think that when we get everybody healthy and on the same page, I think that we have an absolute chance to be a lot better than last year. And the reason is because we have so many more versatile players. We've got just a lot of guys that can do whatever it takes to win. And when we figure out how to put that together, I think that we have a chance to be the best the Suns have ever been.
In the backcourt now, Kevin Johnson nursing his way back from injury. What is his condition at this moment?
KJ's able to play now. He doesn't have that explosive step that makes him Kevin Johnson. He has to just get back slowly. He played about 9 minutes last game, and it was just kind of out there getting the feel. And we expect him to be full strength maybe in a couple weeks, but he'll probably just play a few minutes tonight.
Now, the hopeful next governor of the state of Arizona, Charles Barkley, has been making his noise whether he's been playing or not. What's your feeling about Charles's condition and what he's going to bring to the club this year?
Well, last game against Seattle was the first game since exhibition season where Charles went up and got rebounds that he had no business getting. You know, and that's kind of the trademark of Charles. When he does things and you say, how did he do that? Then you know that he's feeling good. And last game he started to do that. And I would say he's about 80% right now, and that's by far the best he's been since preseason.
With all due respect to Charles, I must say the state of Alabama, not Arizona, right? Now, the next situation, as you know, Doc Rivers has been dropped by the Knicks. Rumors are flying around where he may end up. Do the Phoenix Suns have any interest in Doc Rivers?
I would say that if he would have been waived in training camp, we would have had a real strong interest. But right now, Elliot Perry has emerged as just being a really, really good point guard. And we were too stupid to know that in exhibition season, but we know it now. And we're really not looking for any help. We've got Danny Ainge, who gives us veteran leadership in the backcourt. And if I were the Knicks, though, I'd worry about him ending up in Orlando.
A little conjecture on the part of Paul Westphal. Paul, there's always a lot to talk about with your team, and we appreciate your few minutes right now. Thank you.
Well, it's fun to see the Knicks. We don't get to see them enough, and it's kind of exciting for everybody.
It's great to be here, too. Let's go back now to Mike Crispino.
All right, thanks very much, John, and Paul Westphal as well. A win tonight for Phoenix at home would tie a record that they set back in 1979 and 80 by winning 21 straight at home. Westphal stealing a little bit from Red Auerbach, saying it's the players' job to keep me happy. Interesting to hear that in the 90s. We'll be back.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late?
So exactly what'll I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold, 8-hour presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
Some people hate to stop for gasoline. We do it for a living. Just going from one Sunoco station to another. Checking to make sure a gallon is a gallon. That the octane you pay for is the octane you get. So next time you have to get gasoline, think of us. We have to stop 1,183 times this year.
Now you too can own your own Sunoco tanker truck. In this convenient take-home size. Only $12.99 with fill-up.
So have you made any decisions yet?
I'm thinking about taking the job up at Meyer and Holt.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot less than I was making, but there really isn't much out there.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
You remember about 7, 8 years ago, we talked to Craig Miller over at Payne Weber, and he thought there were some things we should do to make sure that we're covered. Jack's college, paying off the house, so things are going to be okay.
Lucky he knew what we needed.
He knew because he asked.
Teamwork. It's the cornerstone of any championship season. It makes good teams great. It's what makes great teams dynasties. And it's beautiful to watch. MCS fast, responsive service and Canon technology are a team you can count on. Nobody knows office technology as well as Canon. Nobody knows Canon as well as MCS.
Around the NBA, we have some news and notes for you now. The Atlanta Hawks have signed veteran forward Greg Cadillac Anderson. Also, former Sun Mark West, now of the Pistons, will miss his next game with Detroit with torn cartilage in his knee. That snaps a consecutive game playing streak of his at 519. The Nets are coming off one of the most horrific losses in their history. They try to bounce back in Minnesota tonight. The Timberwolves have squandered all 10 opportunities to win at home this year in the Target Center. They are now currently on a 4-game losing streak. The next probable starting lineup tonight includes, and again, this is probable, Charles Smith, Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason for Charles Oakley, and John Starks and Derek Harper in the backcourt. Last night it was to be Hubert Davis, but Starks got the nod at the last moment. Now, Phoenix, the team averaging the second most points in the league at 110, goes with Barkley, Joe Klein, A.C. Green, Perry, and Person in the backcourt. Coming up next here on MSG, the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns will see you again at halftime.
New York Knicks game night has been brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe the most important investment is an investment in relationships. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Canon Technology and MCS Service. One is a great reason to buy the other.
This is Knicks basketball tonight from the Valley of the Sun, where it's dinner time, which means it's prime time for you. The Knicks winners last night in Sacramento in convincing fashion. The Suns have won 4 in a row and have not lost all season here at America West Arena. They hold the league's best record, #1 in the West, second only to Orlando, 15-5. The Magic, the problem for the Knicks right now, they're 3.5 games behind, but maybe from start to finish their best win of the season. It's 12 wins and 7 losses coming into this sold-out arena tonight. Hi, everybody. Al Troutwig for Marv Albert, of course, along with John Andres. And John, the Knicks had a lot to be happy about last night. Patrick Ewing's effort. They're doing it without Charles Oakley, which they'll do again tonight. But maybe John Starks, who's finally cleansed his soul, looking at the tape of Game 7 and moving forward with 18 points and 9 assists.
Yes, John's had a good last 24 hours. We know that, Al. He's really got the game back, and he did it last night in Sacramento. He's gone through a lot of pressure, but last night he showed he can be loose and he can be on his game. The three-point shot was on target last night. John really had the touch going, and it wasn't just once. Another time he had an opportunity to shoot the three, didn't even bother touching the rim. It was all net on that play. But there was a little versatility in the offense, too. He demanded the attention up close, and he breezed by Mitch Richmond and friends for a slam dunk. Solid game for John in 38 minutes, 19 points, 6 out of 14 from the field, much better than lately. 3 out of 7 from three-point range, and a season high, Al, 9 assists for John. So he was the complete offensive package, not only for himself, but also for his teammates.
And somehow in this quick 1-2-3 Western swing, John found time to go to the barbershop and get that asymmetrical look, which he'll have in tonight's game. Now, when you talk about the Phoenix Suns and you look at the Knicks said this week maybe too much depth was not good, but too much depth seems to be working just fine for the Phoenix Suns. They have a player the likes of Wayman Tisdale coming off the bench, and most surprisingly, Danny Manning coming off the bench.
Yes, he was a hot property, could have gone to other teams for a lot more money, but Danny chose Phoenix. He likes the environment, and you know they like him here in Phoenix. He is also doing it all, as the saying goes. Down low, he's tough at 6'9" tall. Danny can shoot the ball on the move as well. He puts the ball on the floor, brings the ball up court on occasion. He can look like a point guard when he comes down court, switching that ball left to right, beating any defense that presents itself. Danny Manning is having a terrific year. Right now playing close to 32 minutes a game, 18 points a game, better than 50% from the field, rebounding and assists. He is the whole offensive package. He is not the kind of guy that will carry a team, but he certainly is an ingredient for a championship team, and that's how they're thinking about him here in Phoenix.
I mentioned the Suns are undefeated at home, and they're winning those 9 games at better than 11 points a decision. And yes, we have not forgotten that Charles Barkley is in attendance, and he is one of those players you just can't take your eyes off of in a game, and we won't. It's the Knicks and the Suns on MSG. Lineups in a moment.
At Mobile, we can help you fill up fast by paying right at the pump. With more credit and ATM cards than any other station.
Best man.
So you can pull up, pump up, pay up, and still get to the church on time. Mobile. How can we help you?
There's only one place for the widest selection in front-wheel drive minivans. From the long of it to the short of it. From the value priced to the lap of luxury. The one place for it all is our place, the Minivan Store, at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Now your Chrysler Plymouth dealers have 2 Plymouth Neons, both very playful, frisky, and safety conscious. Plymouth Neon, now available in original and new faster acting.
How many chances do you have in your life to change the quality of life in your own community? That's one of the reasons American Express card members are continuing the charge against hunger. You can go look into the eyes of people and see that they're
and it works pretty well here too.
I hate when they steal music from another successful franchise, Al. It's going on around the league. People trying to emulate the Bulls' championship ways, but they've stolen their music.
But they've done a good job in that theft. Now, the Knicks out-rebounded the Kings last night. This is a team that knows the importance of rebounding, but against a team like the Suns, there are certain mismatches, and you've got the absence of Charles Oakley tonight. We posed the question to Anthony Mason about the focus of the Knicks in that department coming into tonight's game.
I definitely think that's possible. We have a lot of capable rebounders, a lot of people that go after the boards, you know, maybe not to the extent of Charles Oakley, but we have a lot of great rebounders on this team, and we know that's a must for us to get a victory. So I think everybody's going to consciously be aware and go after every rebound.
Anthony Mason starting for the 2nd consecutive game. He'll be up front with Charles Smith and Patrick Ewing. In the backcourt, it's Derek Harper and John Starks back for his 2nd consecutive start. Charles Oakley for the 2nd consecutive game, bothered by that toe and asked a million questions in the press room tonight from media from both sides about what this 2-game absence means to the future, and it's still up in the air.
Al, the story right here, though, is the best in the West against the team that feels they're the best in the East but hasn't really shown it yet. The Knicks do not have margin for error in this one. They've got to really play up.
Derek Harper and the Knicks win the tip. Ewing guarded by Klein, and he takes it right to the basket. It's a loss, and it's Barkley.
I think sometimes Patrick assumes that he'll be fouled.
That's how Barkley starts it off, and no team in the NBA has hit more three-pointers than the Suns. And Barkley rejects Starks, who had been fouled.
Oh, they love it. Two vicious competitors, Starks and Barkley.
And there's the AT&T long-distance shooting look. The Phoenix Suns now with 150 three-point field goals made. Starks hits the first to make it 3-1. Starks last night 6 of 14 for 18 points, 9 assists. Well short on the second. just after 6 o'clock here in the Valley of the Sun, and it didn't matter to these people in terms of dinner time. They are all in their seats. Derek Harper called for the foul. This is their one time to see the Eastern Conference champions come to town. And if you looked in the TV listings today in Phoenix, it billed this game as the two teams that should meet in the NBA Finals. AC Green rattled around, and Patrick Ewing tips it to John Starks. Mason battling Barkley. Great matchup. Smith moves on AC Green.
Boy, is Charles maximizing his size these days.
Elliot Perry, the surprising star at the point for much of this season's success. Here's another surprising star, Wesley Person. Green. Switch to the left hand, but Ewing has it.
Knicks have a 5-on-4 if they move it quickly.
Charles Smith connects again. So the Knicks have taken the lead. Barkley hit the first shot, a three-pointer, but it's been the Knicks for the next 5.
Great matchup with Barkley and Mason already banging chests.
Suns ball with 16 seconds on the 24-second clock. Elliot Perry.
Perry looks like a little kid, doesn't he, out there? 6 foot, but boy, is he diminutive.
They close it out for Barkley. Tough pass, and the Knicks are there to steal it. Ewing posts up on Klein.
Nice move by Ewing.
Barkley takes it all the way up himself. Klein way outside. And it's tipped out by Derek Harper. That time too many Knicks converged on the rebound.
Watching Anthony Mason immediately went when that shot went up to box out Barkley.
Person. Oh, he does it from outside with the three-pointers, and you can see the versatility. This is a rookie starting and making major contributions in the #2 team in the NBA. Ewing over Klein.
Patrick really had to stretch out, and it didn't bother the shot at all.
That was perimeter from start to finish for Phoenix.
Victory for the defense after a couple of passes, and the 6'10" man takes the long jumper.
It's Smith on Green, and Starks is there for the 3.
Knicks are right on target, doing what they must do. They're looking very, very sharp.
And the Suns clear it out for Barkley. You know Mason loves this.
Oh, you're right, Al.
Barkley got Anthony Mason in the air, and he's got 5. Just underway in Phoenix, Arizona. Now the Knicks almost give a chance for Mason. Now that's a hand check foul on Elliot Perry.
How about Joe Klein coming over to help out Charles Barkley when Mason got the ball? We haven't seen Anthony Mason double team down low. Suns obviously respecting his inside game.
A lot of chatter. Ewing draws 2. Harper goes back to him. Ewing frustrated as he came away from that shot, watching it roll off the rim. Barkley had great hang time, but Smith has the rebound.
No second shots for the Suns.
Harper goes past Perry. Patrick Ewing.
Patrick is shooting the ball, it seems, every time he gets his hands on it. But he has to be the man tonight, because there's where the imbalance lies in the matchups favoring the Knicks, the center position.
Knicks look solid. 12-7 there in front. It's Klein. He's 0 for 2 from there. The Knicks look so confident in their game plan. They know exactly what they want to do, and John Starks has to love this 2-for-2 start.
I can hear the fans in New York cheering, Al, after John Starks is showing that what the confidence is that he brings tonight.
Suns had a 3-0 lead. It's been a 14-4 run since. Again, they clear it out for Barkley. Ewing for Starks. He pulls up for 3. Well, he said early on in the season that that might be a viable option in certain fast break situations, so he went with it. Great fake, and Anthony Mason commits the foul. We have 6 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the first quarter in Phoenix. Knicks up 14-7.
Ball on the floor, a few dribbles. We get Mason in low, get him to commit with that fake jump shot, and then he's right on target.
John, that has become the offensive strategy of choice lately against the Knicks.
Well, there are so many players of teams that the Knicks are facing that are very good putting the ball on the floor. And they can work their way into successful situations with their offensive versatility.
This is game number 10 on the season for Charles Barkley. Averaging 17 points a game, back from an abdominal muscle strain. The 8-time NBA All-Star and the 1993 NBA MVP, also bothered by some eye problems when he got some lotion in his eyes. Some teammates joked that it wasn't lotion, it was the turtle wax that he uses to buff his head. But that's the kind of the spirit that they have on the Suns team. They can kid because they care with the leader of the team.
Also, he gives it out in great doses, so he's gotten used to taking it back.
3 substitutions for Phoenix, and a strong look at the kind of depth that they have. Paul Westphal goes 3 deep on the bench already, and he brings in Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley, and Danny Manning.
3 All-Stars.
Not bad. Manning making the commitment to come to Phoenix for $1 million and perhaps some finagling in the future. As David Stern said, that is the way teams have found to beat the salary cap. Because as a player already on the roster, the Suns can sign him to whatever they want pretty much next season. Illegal defense called against Phoenix.
Danny Manning made a big gamble, turning down upwards of $5 million this year to play here.
Of course, our statistician, John Glenn, is in his new home in Tempe. 4 bedrooms, 3-car garage, pool in the backyard, $170,000. So I think Danny's doing okay.
You didn't say anything about a roof, Al.
The roof was included.
Wow.
They're on their way to JFK and LaGuardia right now. It was a beautiful day today. Temperatures up near 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Starks quick release. 4th rebound for Charles Barkley.
Would be nice for the Knicks to have Harper participate in the offense a little bit now as well.
Ewing is now guarding A.C. Green in the absence of Klein, and Green grabs the offensive rebound. It's Marley on Starks. Green, good-looking fall-away turnaround over Charles Smith.
Smith did a good job covering up for Ewing after he double-teamed outside.
First shot made by Green. Derek Harper draws the foul on the drive.
Time for Derek to step up his offensive moves now. John Starks is into rushing the jumper a little bit after the early success. He and Ewing have been dominating the offense. Other people must get involved.
Get 2 shots.
Derek Harper looking for his first points in the game, and he has been a little quiet offensively of late, averaging just over 11 points a game.
Derek with a quiet one last night. He certainly deferred to his teammates. 35 minutes, only 3 out of 8 from the field, 4 assists. He's had some high-scoring games lately, as Knicks fans know. Against Miami the other night, there was a 25-point game for Derek.
Knicks now 1 for 4 from the free throw line as Harper goes 0 for a deuce. Just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Kevin Johnson Marley for three. Manning and Johnson try to trap Harper for a moment. He spins away and finds Ewing. And A.C. Green is called for the foul. One thing about this arena, it goes almost straight up, and so the sound comes straight down. It's a very loud place. Ewing to the line with the Knicks 1 for 4. And it's sold out again. And you told me, John, this is a spectacular place. It is.
Jerry Colangelo, who runs this franchise, has done a great job designing it, putting all the touches in. Very consumer-minded place.
1 for 5 from the free throw line. And I noticed Jerry made sure he had a gorgeous office with a balcony overlooking the city. So 2 for 6. I can see Jerry. Can I just have those blueprints just for a day, just to make a couple of quick changes? Just under 5 minutes to go, and this game looks like it's going to be a good one.
Bennett Salvatore demonstrating, the official demonstrating what Charles Smith just did, posting up down low with Danny Manning. He used the knee to lift Manning out of position. The officials will not permit that this year.
Again, the Suns clear it out for one-on-one. Barkley against Mason.
Well, for most people, that's a bad shot. Mason did a good job making Charles make a great shot.
The Knicks are feeling Charles Barkley's wrath. 9 points for him. Starks in for Mason. Does he try to answer? He does. And he's rejected by Manning, who thought he had it all ball. Danny Manning is called for the foul.
Well, one good turn, getting another with Mason taking his big frame inside, drawing the attention of 3 people. Of course, Mason doesn't have the type jump shot that Charles Barkley has, but he's got the ability to draw the foul.
Danny Shays has checked into the Phoenix lineup. Mason rattles that one in, as has Wayman Tisdale. Charles Barkley is out, and so is A.C. Green. So it's Tisdale, Shays, Manning, Kevin Johnson, and Marley against Anthony Mason, Charles Smith, Patrick Ewing, Derek Harper, and John Starks. Manning with Smith on him. Smith cut him off inside, cut him off outside. 5 on the 24-second clock. Before the game, Paul Westphal told us Kevin Johnson doesn't have the same jump off the leg. You can see the huge knee brace. And that's an offensive foul against the Knicks.
Harper making all the decisions, pass, shoot, and he decided to pass at the end of that move, perhaps an error, but in so doing went in the air and drew the offensive foul on himself, as Kevin Johnson drew the foul, rather.
So Harper leaves. Clean game for both teams so far. 2 fouls for Harper, but only 1 turnover apiece. Greg Anthony enters, playing 18 minutes in Sacramento last night. Johnson gets by Anthony, who commits the foul.
Greg Anthony drew some boos here when he came in the game. The fans remembering the incident here, ugly incident 2 years ago. Greg has come a long way since then as a player.
Charles Smith leaves and Anthony Bonner checks in. I think they just missed the shirt.
One of Marv Albert's favorite subjects, Al.
Wayman Tisdale follows his own shot and then is fouled on the putback. Anthony Bonner commits the foul, and it's a quick one, just entering the game. Knicks still up 17-13. And Wayman Tisdale, signed as an unrestricted free agent in the offseason, like Manning, said, I'll make the concession. I'll come here and play under the salary cap rules. I'd like to win. and a timeout at the America West Arena. 3 minutes 37 seconds to go. The Knicks up 3 that night.
No, I was glad to get rid of those pants. I was. As a matter of fact, I left them here, and I saw Westfall wearing them about 3 weeks later. I did. I just know they were mine.
And you wonder if Paul Westfall has them on again.
They are similar in stature, Al.
Pat Riley chewing on the Hall's mental ellipsis early in this one. 3:35 to go. The Knicks leading the Phoenix Suns 17-15. Great move by Greg Anthony.
Oh, Greg with the change of pace. He stopped as if he was going to give it up and then turned it on right by Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson's speed created free throws at the other end, and Greg Anthony decided to go right back at him. Offensive foul. Setting the screen, Wayman Tisdale moved.
Well, that's the exact spot where the incident occurred 2 years ago, right down at that part of the court.
Anthony signals for Starks to move away. Now he's stuck without the dribble. 10 on the 24-second clock. Marley guarding Starks, who uses the screen. And Marley's there to grab the rebound. The outlet for AC Green, who has Kevin Johnson. And they blow the fast break exchange.
Long jump shots like the one Starks just took result in long rebounds, which makes the Knicks very vulnerable to fast breaks.
Concern for the Knicks might be the fact that the Suns are only shooting just over 30%. The Knicks at 50%, and it's only a 4-point game. Anthony Bonner travels, so a turnover at one end leads to one at the other. Some substitutions getting set to enter the game. Trevor Ruffin for the Suns. Johnson gets the Tisdale screen. Mason lost the rebound. Another chance for Phoenix.
Johnson does a lot of dribbling on the offense for this team. Always has.
Another chance. Tisdale. Wild. Ewing finally grabs it. Anthony sees Starks. John has gone cold after hitting his first two.
John now 2 for 6.
Marley. Starks is leading the break. Good look up the floor by Anthony Mason. 1:45 to go in the opening quarter. Knicks by 6.
Suns have been stuck on 15 for quite a while now.
Johnson looking way out for Green. Mason's there for the rebound.
Knicks with a 4-on-2.
Bonner lays it off. And Patrick Ewing completes the fast break.
Interesting, the Knicks were fearful of the Suns running. Knicks are running on the Suns.
And Paul Westfall angrily wants to stop this. The Knicks are beating the Suns in transition. They've been slow to get back. Good explosion here to close out the first quarter.
Suns are not hitting their shots. They're not getting offensive rebounds, and the Knicks are scoring at the other end on fast breaks.
This is one of the best shooting teams in the NBA at 49%. Shooting in the game right now 24%. Credit the Knicks defense. And some rough shots by Phoenix. This is also the #2 offense in the NBA, averaging 109 with 15 points and a minute to go in the first quarter. And there's an offensive foul called against the Phoenix Suns. So a rough start for the home team. Remember, they're 9-0 at home, and they're beating opponents by an average of 11 points here at America West.
Wednesday night, they punished the Seattle Supersonics 111-93 while shooting 58% from the field.
Mason, who draws Barkley out, lays it off for Anthony. He's hit. You could hear him scream the moment he let the ball go, and Greg Anthony will go to the line for 2. Trevor Ruffin, an undrafted rookie out of Hawaii, picked up within this last month by the Suns. He was let go by the Lakers rather.
You know, it's interesting, Al. The Knicks have been seeing big guards lately. Here they come to Phoenix against a team that's loaded. Best record in the West. Elliot Perry at 6 foot tall. Ruffin now in the court, 6 foot tall. Not a big problem for the Knicks when these shorter guards are out here.
Knicks only 5 of 10 from the free throw line, so it could be a lot better than 24-15. Last minute of the opening quarter. It's a 7-zip run. The Knicks had a 14-4 run earlier in the quarter. Wesley Person for 3. Oh, he's deadly from out there. 24-second clock counting down, and the rookie, the brother of the rifleman Chuck, hits the 3. 24-18. Tough pass attempted by Mason. Too much bounce on it. Suns can play it for 1. The 24-second clock is shut off. And he shays with 0.8 of a second left. So the Suns come back with a pretty good answer to that Knicks burst. At the end of 1, it's the Knicks 24 and the Suns 20.
When you get sacked, does it hurt?
Well, how the Coyote catches the anvil with his head?
No. You're standing on a highway and a huge truck blindsides you and it explodes. Oh, the driver's fine, and then he says, how's that?
Apex, authentic NFL Pro line apparel at foot action. Most people would just...
Brought to you for me, Toyota.
More memories of the America West Arena. Charles Barkley very much involved so far in this game for the Phoenix Suns. Barkley leading them with 9 points. And Charles Oakley involved in this trip down memory lane. He on street clothes, or on the bench for the Knicks tonight, in street clothes for the 2nd consecutive game. Do you remember this quite vividly, John?
Well, there's always an incident, it seems, when these two big guys get together. Remember in the Garden when Charles Barkley was a member of the Sixers. But here they got into a little shoving match, which later would be referred to as playful by Barkley. Charles Oakley, you can see, wasn't fooling around, though. And they both were escorted from the game after that incident.
The Suns went on to win that game. The Knicks won the game at the Garden, so they split the season series 1-1. And Phoenix will be back at Madison Square Garden for their only visit on the 29th of January. Knicks will travel tonight and practice tomorrow in Portland to take on P.J. Carlissimo and the Portland Trailblazers. On Sunday, we'll have it for you here on MSG. But a late start to that one. None of this 6 o'clock here, 8 o'clock on the East Coast luxury that we get from TNT.
Knicks will also have the opportunity to visit with their former coach, Dick Harder, now working under the Carlissimo regime.
Knicks only hitting 2 more shots than Phoenix, but the shooting percentage almost twice as good. So on we go into the 2nd quarter. It's Manning, Barkley, and Dan Marley with the rookie Wesley Person and the rookie Trevor Ruffin in the backcourt. Marley off the back of the rim. It's Bonner with Smith and Herb Williams. Hubert Davis is in there and making his presence felt. Hubert gives the Knicks a 6-point lead. You don't see too many undrafted players get into the NBA. And there's one at the point now for Phoenix. Barkley pulls his way to the basket. No basket, says Bennett Salvatore.
Barkley having a mini tantrum, as he often does.
He gets away with the mini ones.
He loves to work the crowd, too.
Well, Once Marley gets out of there, they will have cleared it out for Barkley. He gets pretty good position down low on Herb Williams and banks it in. Barkley's got 11.
He is amazing. He's about 6'5", and he took on Herb Williams and figured out the answer.
Tough challenge defensively for Herb Williams, as Barkley is pretty much the center for Phoenix. Hubert Davis on a tough move. Manning has the rebound.
Well, it should be a party for Herb Williams, I would think.
He's got so much speed to get to a spot quicker than Herb can, I think.
But if Herb sets up down low and gets the ball, which may be a problem right now, because I don't think Herb has established himself yet in the game as the target, but he should be able to get his shot off easily over Barkley.
I will see how it goes for Herb and Charles as they battle inside. Elliot Perry, the starting point guard, is back for the Phoenix Suns.
I was asking Paul Westphal before the game about Dan Marley, who seemed to fade last year during the playoffs. Paul was saying that with the injury problems and all the things that he was asked to do, particularly in matchups against Houston, he had a difficult problem with matchups against Vernon Maxwell in particular, and he said he just ran out of gas. He was tired. We were asking him to do so much, and that matchup with Maxwell, who was on fire, just took a lot of steam out of Dan Marley.
Well, Marley's first 2 points of the game. He is the Suns' leading scorer coming in, averaging just under 19 points a game. He has started 15 of the 20 games that Phoenix has played, but now coming off the bench again. Hubert Davis.
Hubert is being allowed to take the shot, and he's hesitating a bit as he did on that one.
And a Suns turnover will give it to the Knicks. Paul Westphal is really working his stacked bench. Wesley Person checks back into the game, and Dan Marley will get a breather. 5 turnovers for Paul Westphal's team. Williams sets the screen for Anthony. Will take the 3. And Barkley will box out Smith to grab the rebound.
Now we're seeing right away how the Knicks really miss Charles Oakley. The offensive rebounding power isn't there now.
Wesley Person. Make it Elliot Perry, who hits the 3. And the Phoenix Suns are in front for the first time since Barkley hit the first shot of the game. A 20-second timeout, and they love it. Pat Riley and the Knicks will talk things over for a moment, and you're seeing the impact of one of the surprising stars of this early season for Phoenix, Elliot Perry.
Elliot Perry, a diminutive guy physically, but a man, as you say, Al, who's made a big impact with that jump shot. In fact, during the week ending 11/20, November 20th, he was named the NBA Player of the Week. I remember talking about Elliot at that time.
Couldn't hook on with the Clippers. Do you think they could use him? They let him go, and so did Charlotte. Signed midway through last season and filling in beautifully in the absence of Kevin Johnson, who's back but missed 14 games already this season. Herb Williams' pass is blocked by Manning. Perry tried to make the save, but falling out of bounds. It will be Nick Ball.
That's the area of the game that the Suns are working hard at now. They know they can play offense, but their defense, that helping defense that they just demonstrated, is very important to their future.
Knicks have 4 seconds to get off a shot. Anthony intercepted by Barkley, so 2 Knick passes picked off. Wesley Person. Suns have a good start in the second quarter, outscoring the Knicks 9-2 and leading by 3. Anthony Bonner gets free.
Nice pass from Greg Anthony as John Starks gets ready to check back.
And so does Anthony Mason. And a lot of contact. Bonner is down. Greg Anthony goes to help him out. Greg Anthony called for the foul, his second. Hubert Davis leaves, so does Anthony Bonner as John Starks and Anthony Mason return. Davis struggled a bit, 1 for 3. Bonner scored 2 points and grabbed a rebound. It is Mason on Manning. Tisdale is rejected inside by Mason. Starks has it picked from behind by Elliott Perry. Person is rejected by Smith. A wild sequence. Tisdale. Mason. And Williams finally has it. Charles Smith up the floor. Has Starks on the right wing. Instead, some patience, giving it to Anthony. Illegal defense called against Phoenix. That is their second violation, and the Knicks will shoot a free throw. It's a little early to have your second illegal defense call. 8:22 left in the half.
Knicks are doing a very good job consistently on the boards, however, Al. That was one of the keys we talked about with Anthony Mason before the game, and they are hanging tough.
AC Green replaces Wayman Tisdale. A tough time shooting. Tisdale 0 for 5, and Patrick Ewing is back for the Knicks.
Charles Barkley guarding Ewing.
It's the way it stacks up right now. Let's watch it with some good anticipation.
Ewing better hope his teammates notice.
Starks.
He's being double teamed.
Mason, Anthony. They get it to Ewing. However, it's Wesley Person who had switched off to defend against him, and he changed his shot. Wesley Person at 6'6", doing it defensively. Knicks running. Smith from Mason.
Outlet passes have been excellent. And Smith's anticipation getting out in the break is right on.
And the Knicks, who have had the do we run or do we not run dilemma all season long, have picked a night to run, and they're doing it with great success. Barkley for Person. Now they say it went over the top of the backboard. It will be Nick Ball. Well, you know, just about any game you play on the road in the NBA, you're going to have to weather some sort of a storm. You're going to have to weather some sort of a run and noise. And the Knicks have handled this one in the second quarter, and they're back in front by 2.
Mason to Starks, can't hold on to the ball.
Starks says, my fault. Knicks still over 50%. The Suns at 30% for the game. Barkley talks while he's posting up.
He does it all, Al.
AC Green misses on the rainbow. Perry, quick pass. Ewing picks it off, and out comes Anthony with Starks. And Greg Anthony throws it out of bounds. And he's not coming out because of that pass. He's coming out because Derek Harper was already at the table. 6:56 to go here in Phoenix, Arizona. The Knicks up 2. Back in a moment.
Al, the Knicks are now enjoying a 2-point lead. The internal defense also helping. Penetrating move. Tisdale thinks he has 2 points, but Charles Smith is right there to send that shot back. Knicks with several fast break opportunities. A moment later after that play, Charles at the other end of a fast break off that good lead pass from Mason.
Still, the Phoenix Suns are struggling offensively. They haven't scored in what is now 2.5 minutes, and they're shooting at about 30%. Foul is called on Charles Smith. Second foul on Smith. The Suns will inbound. 6 minutes 44 seconds remaining in the first half. The Suns at 15-5, best in the West, number 2 overall in the NBA. Knicks at 12-7, 3.5 games behind the Orlando Magic, who continue to roll. Danny Manning. Manning is now 0 for 3.
Patrick Ewing already has 7 rebounds.
AC Green 1 for 6. Wayman Tisdale 0 for 5. Some rough numbers up front that's showing good frontline defense by the Knicks. Ewing lost it. Marley with Elliott Perry. Back to Marley, who draws the foul. Starks met him in midair.
Good foul by Starks, though. Marley was going for the slam. Ewing once again with trouble when he puts the ball on the floor, gets the immediate double team and the turnover. I mean, that happens a lot.
That is 8 turnovers against the Knicks. Marley, of course, has become an all-star in the NBA, and you go back to the '88 NBA draft, and you see how it worked out for everyone. Marley picked 14th. And they eventually got the #1 pick in the draft, didn't they?
How did the U.S. lose the Olympics, Al? Several of those players on the Olympic team that have gone on to NBA stardom.
Don't bring it up with John Thompson.
That's right. Throw in David Robinson in that mix, too.
Mason has to work a little hard to get away from Elliott Perry, and Perry picks him.
That's going to make Pat Riley real unhappy, that extra dribbling.
But Mason gets the rebound at the other end, playing the defense. The outlet for Starks. For 3. And Marley, or rather Joe Klein, beats Charles Smith to the rebound. A little ragged at both ends. A.C. Green with the offensive foul as he bangs into Starks.
Oh, Suns trying to take advantage of the Knicks' imperfections, and they bring their own. As A.C. Green can't stop. Oh, you got to be so careful when you give a man 6'10" that basketball and expect him to dribble it.
Knicks with 9 turnovers, Suns with 7.
This is unbelievable.
Another foul. This time it's against the Knicks. An offensive foul as Ewing tried to set the screen.
The only consolation for this man is the Suns are doing the same thing. They're giving it up as well.
17 combined turnovers now. Elliott Perry guarded by Derek Harper. Manning works on Smith. Switches hands in midair, and Ewing grabs it. Well, the Suns just can't buy a basket. Knicks quiet offensively now, too. Starks can't hit. Both teams sort of stuck in the mud. Finally, Danny Manning. Suns back in front by 1. Knicks get it to Ewing. Starks with too tough a pass. He had Harper open, but right through the middle, and that's difficult. Now Manning's hit 2 in a row.
That's his special talent. He can dribble that ball past half court and make things happen. How many 6'10" men in the NBA can do that?
Well, the Suns had gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal. Now Danny Manning has hit 2, and it's the Suns by 3.
Okay.
Barkley at the line with 12 points and 7 rebounds. Yeah, he can smile.
That was aimed at Patrick Ewing.
2 minutes, 10 seconds to go as the Knicks look for a positive closeout to this first half. Charles Barkley is called for the foul, his first. Knicks get a fresh 24, and Charles Smith will inbound.
Suns have been giving Ewing many different looks. Now Joe Klein is back on him. It was Barkley several minutes back.
Harper for Bonner. You know he'll, if ever, take that jump. Charles Smith got inside and got to the rim. Missed the layup. It's Barkley faking the 3. Laying it off for Klein. And 3 seconds. Klein should have put the ball up. Trapped the Suns in the lane, and they get called for the turnover. Harper can't make much out of the Ewing screen. Harper hits on only his second shot of the first half.
I mean, Perry cannot bother Derek Harper. If Derek can back him in down low, too, he can shoot over him.
Knicks have 11 points in the quarter, and they're only down 4. John Starks will be called for the foul, trying to guard Dan Marley.
In the penalty box was number 54, Charles Smith. His third in the penalty box.
Charles Smith is called for his third personal foul. So foul's a bit of a problem now for the Knicks. Mason on the bench with 3, and Smith joins him at that level. Manning averaging 17 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 32 minutes off the bench. Monty Williams gets the call from Pat Riley. Charles Smith sits down with the foul trouble. 1:16 to go in the half.
Monty Williams hasn't gotten a run in the last 4 games for the Knicks.
Elliot Perry commits the foul in the backcourt. First in the last 2 minutes, so the Knicks will inbound, and Danny Ainge makes his first appearance in the game. Ainge getting sporadic minutes these days, only played 8 minutes in the Suns' last game. Harper with a crossover, beats Perry, and he draws the foul. Joe Klein he's losing it. That's his second explosion. Good for him. Barkley is there to give him a hug, calm him down. So 3 personal fouls against Joe Klein, and Derek Harper goes to the free throw line.
I would expect, Al, now that Derek Harper has a sense of the Suns, that he'll continue to look for his shots and his moves. His foul shooting, though, is really letting him down.
Harper is 0 for 3. Wesley Person checks back in. We have not seen the best of this rookie out of Auburn. Wesley Person, he's only got 7 points. He has the ability to take over a game offensively. Joe Klein sits. Harper's having his problems. Knicks 2. 9 of 14 from the free throw line. So we'll play out the final minute with the Suns up 4. Trevor Ruffin for the 3. Over Ewing and grabbed by Barkley. And Person is fouled by Monty Williams. He had the step to get on by, and Monty fouled him. 42 seconds to go.
There was a strong suggestion of Walter Davis in the movement of Wesley Person, which has been written about here in Phoenix. This season, Person playing more than half a game. You can see how effective his shooting has been at 48%, 45% from three-point range, 23 in the draft round, the 23rd pick this past spring.
It's the free throw to make it 42-36, and Derek Harper gets the foul, and it falls. Well, Derek Harper suddenly wants the shots and is taking the shots and is getting some penetration.
Take a Perry Ellis look now at Derek, handling the ball so well, splitting the defenders, and then going to the left hand. Beating 3 defenders on the Phoenix Suns. Knicks are getting healthy now with Derek Harper stepping it up.
Pat Riley, you won't see this very often since Greg Anthony into the game, replacing Patrick Ewing. So the Knicks will go to some defensive pressure, most likely coming out of this free throw for Derek Harper.
Patrick only has 1 foul. Pat Riley would like to keep it that way with 30 seconds to go in the half.
Anthony has trouble with Ruffin, but he almost lost it. Danny Ainge, cold off the bench, takes the 3. Out of bounds. It's a foul on Anthony Bonner. Barkley went down, and Bennett Salvatore said he went down because of contact with Bonner.
His second issue penalty.
Well, the Knicks. One more look at that.
Well, it would be hard to point out that Bonner had anything to do with that. They were both looking for that basketball in midair, but it looked like Barkley lost his balance or was affected in some other for some other reason. Meantime, Charles has had a very solid first half.
Patrick Ewing back into the game. This time he replaces Anthony Bonner. Danny Shays checks in for Phoenix.
Well, Knicks will have another shot at the basket, so Pat Riley bringing Patrick back in.
Rebound it.
Barkley makes it 43-39. Pressure by Phoenix in the backcourt. Harper for Monty Williams. 15 to go. Greg Anthony looks for Ewing, who's posting on Danny Shays. He should be able to win this battle. Spins away from him. And 3 Suns there for the rebound. 5 to go for Phoenix. Barkley is fouled. Pat Riley explodes in frustration. Ewing got the open shot. It was all Phoenix on the rebound, and they got it up the floor in a hurry. Charles Barkley, the leading scorer in the first half with 13 points, has a chance to give Phoenix a 6-point lead.
Harper now with 3 fouls.
He's the third Knick at 3. Kevin Johnson comes in replacing A.C. Green. So some little guys for some big guys on the part of both coaches here in the last minute. Going for speed and maybe a steal. Derek Harper says he wants those metal screws screwed in a little tighter. Barkley hits the free throws. It's 45-39. Starts. And that's how it'll end. The Knicks were up a little. The Suns couldn't hit. Then the Suns got the crowd involved, and you know who did that. And they took the lead. But still a sluggish offensive first half for both teams. 45 for Phoenix. The New York Knicks 39 at the America West Arena. We'll get the latest from Mike Crispino.
The Giants have finished preparations for their game on Sunday with the Philadelphia Eagles. They were out without Jesse Campbell for the 3rd straight day at practice. He'll be replaced by John Booty at free safety on Sunday. Denver Broncos will have John Elway at quarterback when they play the San Francisco 49ers. Elway, coming off a twisted knee, will be ready to go. Jimmy Johnson's long-awaited announcement about his coaching future expected on Sunday, but the news is leaking out already that he will remain with Fox Sports and television. Howard Schnellenberger, who left Miami, then went to Louisville, returns to the coaching limelight. He takes over the program at Oklahoma. We'll go back to the Valley of the Sun after these words.
Not really. I don't know. People think that I'm crazy, actually crazy. You know, first thing people say, God, he's crazy. You know, what's wrong with him? You know, he can play for the money. First thing come out of people's mouth is the money. You know, it ain't about, oh God, you know, he has so much talent. But what about the money? They don't say, what about this? What does he think? It has to be something wrong for him to do what he's doing. Very few people know the things that I do that's right and wrong. I used to live in the ghettos, and I seen drugs in my house and this and that, and that's one thing I can never do. I can never do that. I can never do drugs. I just can't. It's just one of those situations where it's just not something that I need to get into. You know, I think that if I got on drugs and it's so hyper than I am, it's so like out there, I think I'll be dead probably.
.30 points. The Knicks go inside again. Dan Marley with the steal. Outlets to Charles. Strong to the hoop. Left hand draws the foul. Final minute of the third quarter, it got crazy. Pat Riley and Ewing both ejected. Riley for arguing, Ewing for a flagrant elbow. With Ewing gone, the Knicks had to go to who else? Johnny Starks lit it up. 10 of the Knicks' last 11 points. Knicks win 103-99. Ewing gets 30 before being ejected.
Knicks came back, though. John Starks leading the way on the outlet. He stuffs it home, but he wasn't done. He put on a clinic from three-point land. Count them 1, 2, 3. You can count it home if you like. 4, 5 three-pointers in the second quarter. Starks with 35 points.